Y'all, this video's pretty hard to make today. My friends were just arrested for conspiracy to kidnap Governor Whitmer. And they didn't do nothing wrong. They were just doing their patriotic duty, allegedly. They love this country. Like me, they wake up every day and salute our Confederate flag. I don't know what went wrong. We watched all them Jason Bourne movies, even watched some Steven Seagal. Thought we had that soldier thing figured out, but apparently we wasn't above the law. And it doesn't make no sense. We look all tactical. We say things like, what's your sex? But apparently the movies doesn't tell you not to invite the FBI informants to your secret meetings. You know, the job description for homegrown terrorists never said nothing about getting arrested. I really thought Trumpy Bear would have protected us. He said, liberating Michigan. But y'all wait, we will come again when you least expect it. As soon as our pumpkin spice POTUS gives us new secret orders on national television. Stand back and stand by.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? We've got a really great panel here today. We've got Lord Timothais, NIKKINOO News. We got BrainDaddy, which is so much fun. Then we've got Barrett, Carroll, and then Be Less Stupid. We got John from Be Less Stupid. He's been doing politics for a very long time. And then we got Walter Masterson. And we have got Bulletproofmedic, which is just so much fun here, you guys. Here's everybody.
Hi.
And yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
And so today we're going to be covering the craziness that's been going on, and we're going to be focusing in on the Proud Boys. And I'm super excited to have you guys here today. My name is Bert. I come from the channel Food X Bert, and I've been traveling the world for 9 years now, and I do YouTube. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years. I normally didn't get into politics until Donald Trump really messed it with the country here in the United States, just really messed things up so badly. So that is my intro, and we're going to go on to NIKKINOO.
Oh, hi.
Next.
Hey, everybody. I am on TikTok mostly. I've got my NIKKINOO News on, it's the NIKKINOO Show on YouTube, which we're streaming from right now, Instagram, and then I just started on Twitter, so I'm starting to try and build a base there as well. So my platform is based on, it is political, although I have some fun stuff thrown in there as well, but I try and take the political base of what is going on a daily basis and inject humor and fun into it. So people are kind of learning the current events and laughing while they're doing it, because I think we all need a laugh right about now. So that is my spiel. So moving on.
Okay, we've got Lord Timothais.
Hey, everybody. How are you? Lord
Lord.
Timothais here. I also speak of politics. I really dig into Trump's behind. I really don't like him. I hate him. Anyway, on top of that, I try to eradicate racism on social media. So follow me all across all of my platforms. That's where you'll find all the info. Hello.
And then we got BrainDaddy.
Oh, Lord. Hello. So, like you, I started following politics because of Donald Trump's ineptitude. I have 2 pages on TikTok right now because apparently you're not allowed to show a cartoon meme of Donald Trump shirtless. So I got suspended. So I also share everyone's hatred of Donald Trump. And I love to have a comedic take on, bashing him.
Awesome.
Nice. And then we got Barrett, Carroll. Is that how we pronounce your name, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
What's up, everybody? As brief as possible. I'm from Oklahoma, but I grew up in a cult, and I had a very narcissistic father who ran that, and so that. But he was also all into conspiracy theories and all of that stuff. So, but I also had extended family that worked in the entertainment industry. So I started working in the entertainment industry simultaneously with that at a young age, and now I still work in the entertainment industry in LA. But I also got a lot more in politics as I got older. I left when I was 16, and I kind of had to undo a lot of things within my own mind. And seeing a complete narcissist become the president of the United States was, triggering to say the least. And so that's kind of where that went with the politics talk.
Very cool.
And then we got John from Be Less Stupid. He's been in politics for longer than any of us, I think.
I started off as a writer a long time ago on a television series called Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Where I worked for 5 years. And then I used to run a show on Showtime called Bullshit with Penn and Teller. So I made 100 little documentaries about politics and the things. Anyway, I believe that Donald Trump is an existential threat to the future of America. And I'm going to encourage everyone to do two things. One, go to vote.org. Make sure that you are registered, please. And second, if you're a young person, please go to your parents right now and make this face, right? And tell them that if you think that your parents are going to vote for Trump, tell them that the future is going to be very different than their past. And if they love you, they'll change their mind and vote for Joe Biden. And that you'll keep their secret and not tell anyone.
That's great. And then, it's great to have you, John. And then we're going to move to. Oh yeah, it's great. We're going to have a lot more in the future for sure. Here is Walter Masterson.
Walter.
How you doing? I am an actor, comedian on TikTok in New York City. I downloaded the Trump app, which is one of my favorite apps ever. It tells you where all the rallies are, and you can sign up to a phone bank for the President of the United States. It's amazing. I think everyone watching should download this app. It tells you where every rally is and every meetup. I've been going to them. It's been a lot of fun. Everyone on TikTok's like, oh, let's sign up for the rally and then not go. I like to sign up and go. I just did a video where I interviewed Proud Boys. That's national news. So anytime someone says, oh, Donald Trump didn't mean it like that, I have his followers on video saying, yeah, he meant it exactly like that. So, yeah, that's me. Thank you all. Love to talk. See y'all, everyone.
And then we got the Bulletproofmedic here.
Y'all, I doesn't know what's going on. My little magic box must be broken because there's a bunch of damn liberals hacking in. Y'all best not be talking about that deadly hoax now. Truth, I'm from Canada, actually. So I'll say a boot. You'll see me drinking maple syrup every now and then. I'm pretty new to this. If you guys remember, maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. There was a video that went viral. Officer Karen McMuffin, she was a cop down in Georgia. She freaked out. She uploaded this video online. She freaked out because McDonald's took too long to make her McMuffin meal. So I was like, well, shit, you know what? I got a bulletproof vest at home. I'm going to go throw that on. I'm going to do a parody of this. And it got an insane amount of retweets. And I'm like, shit, people think I'm funny. Well, you know. I best start doing this. I did a couple Karen parodies, and then I found out that the best thing was the Trump parodies. Doing the Trump supporter. And my first video that took off there was like, I was saying something like, you don't know what it's like to be the dumbest mother in the room. I do. Leave him alone. And I found out that I could cry on cue, so that's amazing. It really helps to sell the bit. The best part about this, the funniest part for me, because everyone else gets to laugh at the videos, I get to laugh at the responses of people that are too lazy to watch the videos and just throw out the insults. And it's always the same 3 insults. It's like, come on, I'm waiting for a new one.
That's awesome. And then we got actually one person coming on later, but he's actually here right now. I'm going to bring him in to say hello, but he's coming on in about 45 minutes or so. Here is the moderate Democrat. He is he's here joining us from Ohio.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Ohio.
All right. Just sitting back watching all you guys.
And he's going to come on in about 45 minutes, but do you want to just give a quick intro of what you do on TikTok?
Well, humor. Lots of humor. And I shake my butt to all types of different sounds and songs. But my biggest thing is changing the tone of politics on TikTok. I did not see no positive Biden stuff, and I wanted to be that positive voice. That was my biggest thing I wanted to see. And I think I'm getting there. I think we're doing it.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to actually say bye to you for now, but we're going to bring you back in about 45 minutes, okay? It's great to have you. We'll see you soon, okay?
Bye.
Okay, so, yeah, today we've got a lot to talk about. I mean, with the Proud Boys, with Walter's interview with the crazy people, I've got kind of things cut up in sections. And yeah, if Walter will let me play it, I'll play it right now. Here we go. So here's the first bit. Here's Walter's first section, kind of the intro. Here it is.
God bless America. God bless you all.
I educated them. Why? Because I don't follow the news, and I have my facts correctly. I'm also a Proud Boy, if you guys understand who they are.
So people don't understand. Proud Boys, it's a very inclusive, multiracial organization.
We're not brawlers, but we're there. Like we're just like the Marines. We're the first one to come in when there's something happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're the ones that are there to protect the NYPD.
And he said, stand back and stand by. What did you take that to mean?
Basically, he says, guys, wait for my orders. And that's exactly what we're waiting for.
Yeah. So you're not violent.
No.
You're not violent, but you're waiting for him to tell you, like, whether it's time to roll.
We're going to know. If Trump doesn't get reelected, okay, there's going to be a riot. But if he doesn't get reelected, this is when you're going to see civil war. I guarantee you that. Because for a fact, if he loses the election, it was rigged, which is it's starting to get rigged. But we know that. We know exactly. And of course, we also follow Q. If you guys know, we also follow Q. And we have our chain of commands that gave us our orders when things are going to hit the fan. But I tell you, my recommendation to anyone, stock up on ammo, get your guns, whatever you need to do. If you want to go out there and be a patriot, you need to be ready.
It's just insane. I mean, we're looking at a serious problem right here with this kind of group of people that are just very dangerous. And this guy, you'll see in the later parts of the interview, Walter knows, and you guys probably know too, he's very crazy as far as his education level was very low. And I think that's kind of the typical Trump supporter is kind of like this. I mean, not all Trump supporters are like this, but there is some. So anyways, anyone have any comments about this?
Well, I raised my hand like I'm back in class. What I was going to say earlier about just the reason I referenced growing up in a cult was specifically because I was obviously like, I don't like Trump, but what got me really involved was specifically seeing the rise of the QAnon stuff. And because I was like, oh, that's a cult, And so I started looking more into that and researching more into that. And I go into everything very open-minded. I mean, I love philosophy. I love talking to people about different ideas. And so I started exploring everything. I got on their their little chat groups and like all this stuff. And I was just listening and trying to follow. And I even went as far as I searched through the entire dark web, looking for the evidence for these things that they were saying. And it just, that was just not there. And that's when it confirmed to me how dangerous this turn of events was going.
But these guys are saying that there's going to be a civil war if the president loses. And I take them at their word, right? There's no reason to believe that they're not telling us the truth. There was an event that happened back in October here outside in the town of Santa Monica, where I am, where these Proud Boy guys brought bear mace to an event and where they were arrested for spraying it on the crowd, right? These are some really dangerous mother effers, and they are determined, and because the president has given them a permission structure to come out of the woodwork, right? And it used to be you would keep that stuff quiet, right? About how much you don't like black people or how much you hate Jews, right? And look, the president may or may not be a racist. I don't know, but I'll tell you who thinks he is: the racists. Right? And these guys are incredibly dangerous, and they are determined to exact a pound of flesh. They really are. They're very dangerous.
Oh, John, I beg to differ. Trump is a total racist. And this whole Christopher Columbus thing literally co-signed that for me. He's not only attacking black and brown people, he's attacking I'm lost for words at how racist he is. This dude has got to go.
I think he is. I'm not. I believe that he is, right? But whenever I talk to Trump supporters, and I've talked to, literally hundreds and hundreds. I've been to a dozen Trump rallies. I was kicked out of one by the Secret Service. The Secret Service came to my house, right?
Oh, wow.
And I know that Trump is a very bad and scary and dangerous guy. But when he says that he's not racist, right? I'm not agreeing with it. I'm saying I don't know. I can't say what's in his heart. But what I know for certain is that the racists think he's racist.
Sure.
Well, you're assuming that's the part.
Yeah.
You're
that's
assuming
the-
that's the part because from where I'm sitting, he's too far gone for that.
There's no heart there.
Yeah, the statement is true.
Empty hole.
The statement is true, everything that you said. And I think his people has finally realized that they can't win this, or the chance of him winning is getting smaller and smaller. So in my mind, I think Trump wants to burn it all down before he can,
Yep.
because
because he knows he's going to go to prison.
Yeah, he can't win. His chances of winning. You guys have to understand something. Over 6 million people have voted already. This is 60% more voted now than the same time in 2016 He's only won by.
I think it's more than that, Lord. I think
it's up to 10.
Yeah,
more.
but my point is he only won by 77,000 votes. If you're holding the number of people that voted now, he's already lost.
Yeah,
he's already lost.
Yeah, and
that's why the whole voting box debacle. Now they want to claim that Democrats cheat. They want to claim, obviously, it's deflection. We know this, but who actively gets caught cheating? Now these whole ballot boxes that are placed around, Lord knows what the real reason is for that. But the appearance of it is the only way you can win is if you cheat, because this country doesn't look like your kind anymore. When I say your kind, I mean racist, conservative Republicans. Yeah. It doesn't look like that anymore. Mm-hmm. And the only way they can win is if they suppress.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They're terrified to lose power, and what their fear is that someday in the future, white Christians will become a minority, and that then the majority of people will then treat them the way the white majority now treats minorities.
Exactly.
That's their great existential fear of the future, that they will be in the minority and that they will be out of power.
That's exactly, you hit the nail on the head.
There's a weird thing that's going on right now, and it's not talked about a lot right now, and I feel like in a few years we're gonna really be talking about it. QAnon is, and like, mark my words, I'd love to be wrong. QAnon right now, from what I'm seeing personally, from the people I've talked to, is a perfect gateway drug to the alt-right, to Trumpism, for Black, Indigenous people of color. Like that whole spectrum, the people like, and I feel like that is a great gateway drug that gets people of color, that gets gay people, like that whole, everyone in that, like Spanish, Latinx, all of that into the alt-right, into anti-Semitism, into, and we're going to talk about that in 4 years. It's obviously not because I interview and I like trolling. It's great comedy to interview a Trump supporter and make fun of them, and I come across a lot of people that are Black, Spanish, and the stuff that comes out of their mouth it's like it throws me off. Like we all have this image of the Trump supporter in our heads. Yeah. There's the parody. And, we're sort of used to that. And then when I'll meet a Black Trump supporter that will say, like, literally the most racist things. I was like, damn, it's so racist. I, as a white person, I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And it's always comes from QAnon. And I have a Facebook friend that became a Trump supporter. And he's a, Black gay person. And I watched the metamorphosis. He used to be very anti-Trump, and now he is pro-law and order. He thinks Biden is running a child sex cult.
Sex trafficking,
yeah. So, and I mean, he's all in. And QAnon is a great gateway drug into that. and it's bringing people that are, you know, and it's QAnon. So the guy in that video, I've been texting with him. I text him from another device, and he sends me all the QAnon stuff. And I mean, maybe everyone here knows this, but it's just it's rebranded, modernized culture wars and anti-Semitism.
Yep.
Has that guy reached out to you? Has that guy reached out to you saying like, "Oh, this has gone viral" or anything? Like, does he know it went viral?
I haven't texted him today, but I mean, I've been texting with him for a week. Maybe the Newsweek article made its way back to him, but I mean, he also has this feeling of like he wants to, you know, bring people around. I mean, he knew he was on camera, so it's not like this wasn't a gotcha moment. Like he signed
I know, but
a
he's
waiver.
not going to believe it. He's not going to believe it unless Breitbart picks it up. If he sees himself, right, on NBC or in Newsweek, he's going to go, "Oh, that's fake news.
Fake news.
That wasn't me."
But I also need to mention, I have, you know, this guy asked me to turn the camera off. So I only have audio recording. The audio wasn't off. I didn't post it because out of respect, because he, you know, like he gave me permission to use all the footage. I have him off camera saying stuff that I honestly don't want to repeat. Like it's stuff that's like, you know, denying the Holocaust. Like not only denying it, like telling me, you know, that Hitler did a lot of good things that no one talks about. And it's a lot of, you know, like.
Well, I mean, he's a neo-Nazi.
Well, no, but QAnon is rebranded anti-Semitism. All the QAnon stuff I've gotten.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So like a lot of the messages that I've gotten, because like I was saying, QAnon is something that I have specifically talked about quite a bit. And a lot of the messages I've gotten, just like Walter, you were saying, I've gotten messages from lifelong Democrats who are telling me, who like, I never knew this. And a lot of them are people that are like, I don't know, closer to my parents' age. So they may not be as like, they're taking what they see as facts. So they see these things on the internet and they're like, well, it's not coming from the mainstream media. And I know the mainstream media is fake. And so this must be true. And they get wrapped up into this ideology. Mm-hmm. And it's truly a cult that we are seeing on a national scale. And that is absolutely terrifying. And the deeper you go into it, the worse it gets. Like you were saying, the anti-Semitic stuff, like that's not the number one video they throw at you. You know, that's not the first. You know, the fall of cabal is not that anti-Semitic. But you go further down that rabbit hole, as they like to say, and eventually you start getting this. You start seeing this very racist, very anti-Semitic stuff. But people are already so far in at that point that they don't see it like that. It's terrifying.
Barrett, when you were first introduced and you were, because I haven't seen you yet, but I am going to start following you. When you said that you had belonged to a cult, or your parents had belonged to a cult when you were a child, I was like, you are the perfect guest for the show, because you see what the cult tendencies are. Yeah. And so you can kind of dissect what's going on around the American public right now. And you can, and am I right in saying this?
Absolutely.
Trumplican, they're a cult.
100%. It is. I mean, look, to be honest, you know, obviously people have thrown a lot of comparisons to Hitler with other previous leaders, but you look at what actually happened in early Nazi Germany, and it wasn't just like wham bam, thank you ma'am, one day Hitler was Hitler. You know how we perceive Hitler. There was a buildup that took place. There was a fake news. I mean, Hitler. One of his slogans was "Make Germany Great Again."
My God!
That is literally, we are going down that path slowly but surely. And it was a similar thing where it was a cult on a national scale. And although this may not turn out as violent, hopefully, you know, in some ways I think there's even less. I mean, it's even more dangerous because there's like, it's so widespread, and because of the internet, there's, I mean, it's terrifying. I mean, it's just terrifying.
I agree with you 100%, Barrett. 100%.
Well, you know,
there's actually multiple quotes you can go to and directly translate from Hitler and then put them into Trump's like lingo. They are scary similar. And there's one like, if you tell a lie enough times, it will become the truth. It's like, this is the direct quote translation, and it's like Trump is doing this.
But you don't understand. When you watch the Cabal QAnon videos, they do the same thing. They take Obama's words and then they swear that Hitler said the same stuff. They're like, well, the Hitler said that. I mean, they'll take an Obama speech and then they'll be like, then they'll have Hitler speaking in German. They'll be like, oh, it translates to the exact same thing, as if the speechwriter was just cut and pasting. I mean, so you have to understand, that's the information they're getting. They think Obama and Hillary, they're like, no, those are the fascists. That's Hitler. Hillary is Hitler. We're fighting her and the deep state.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that most of these people that are involved in all of this probably have never read a book all the way through, never left their hometown, and they're sitting around listening to just utter garbage because they don't agree with the way they're thinking right now. And Donald Trump has preyed upon the weak-mindedness of these people, and coupled with QAnon to spew just utter crap to deflect from the fact that he's stealing from you. You are denying the fact that you're allowing yourself to be stolen from, because ultimately these are the same people that will suffer more than black and brown people, whom they've convinced that are smarter and better and more superior than. So I guess what I'm saying is all of this is not going to end well for these folks, because no one listens to stupid, not for long. They don't.
I feel like oh, go ahead, Barrett. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So Ryan Shead and I were talking earlier today, and we were talking about how it's nuts how the left and then the right, the media that is being like thrown at them through any searches or anything like that is so individualized. They're based on their searches, and so the left is getting all of the things that are kind of appealing to our agenda and like how we feel, and then the right is getting the things that we don't agree with that are in their face all the time, that are being, thrown at them because of all of their searches. And now you just I feel like we just have this great divide where we're over here going, you guys are idiots. And they're over there because of the information that we're getting and the research we're doing. And then over here, some of them are researching and they're like, you guys are idiots. And I really think that the media is really playing into our psyche and really kind of pitting us against each other. It really feels that way to me.
Let's be honest. The liberal media is absolutely fine with Trump getting reelected. It's great for business.
Yep.
I mean, it's not. The counter messages they offer have been awful. I mean, listen. I'm just an actor and a comedian, and it's like there's no counter message for what's actually going on in New York City, and that's why people mistake what I do for journalism, because I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Like, people think that the police have been defunded in New York City, and like, there's nothing countering this message. So
that's our fault. That's our fault. Seriously, liberals made a terrible mistake saying that we were in favor of defunding. Defunding is not what we want. We don't want the police to not have. We want to. It
needs to be restructured.
Right.
Or reallocate
the stuff that the police are doing that they're not supposed to be doing, like, for example, taking care of the people who are mentally ill, people who are homeless, right? Things that aren't crimes. We're asking them to do social work and those kinds of things. And
that's still defunding.
No, I know. But
that's still defunding.
But you're not. But the point is, though, is to be able to find language. That's what Frank Luntz does for the Republicans. We need to find the right language that says to people, we don't want the police to not be able to protect us. What we want is to help so that they don't feel overwhelmed, where they then start shooting innocent people in the back, right? Because they don't know how to handle a situation. We want to help them get retrained and take away some of the burdens that we've dumped in their lap that we don't necessarily need them to do. And if we have a language for take money from the police and give it to social workers or to free up, that would be great. But at the moment, we don't. And and you can't run, right?
Be honest,
on
too.
a platform of, hey, we're the party of less police.
Be honest, too. And be honest, the Democrats have never been good at messaging. Never.
No,
the Republicans can take one word and turn it into a whole paragraph and run the tables on the Democrats. They make them look weak, stupid, not listening, like they took the word defund. We know that's not what it meant. We knew that's not what it meant.
No, I agree with.
We know we did. We know that that's not how we meant the word defund. But Fox News grabbed a hold of that and turned it into, they don't believe in blue. And then Blue Lives Matter was born out of defund the police. They picked. We don't always think about the outside before we go spewing something. It's always used against us.
You know who's doing the best? Honestly, the best marketing against Trump and for Biden, in my personal opinion, Lincoln Project.
I knew it.
Like Republicans against Trump.
I totally agree.
They every day they come out with like the sickest burn. They're marketing against Trump, and I'm like, what is wrong with everyone? That the only people that can stop him are his own people.
It's not very smart. Did you guys, Walter, did you or anybody? Did you guys see the letter that Steve Schmidt? It was like an open letter to
yes. That was a mic drop. That was no one's come correct like that.
Liberals have for now 50 years. We have for 50 years because we think we have a conscience. We would never do the kinds of things that Republicans do just reflexively, and we let our consciences get in the way of what would be great, important politics, right? Remember Bush? They did a push poll when he ran against McCain, right? What would you think if you heard that McCain had an illegitimate black baby, right? Democrats, we could never, there wouldn't be never in 100,000 years could we do something devious and ugly like that because we let our consciences get in the way. And that's a problem.
Can I add to that, Michael? If you will notice throughout the years, the Republicans, especially almost 100%, they will take a trait of their adversary and they will make it something that's bad. Like Biden is a very loving, he feels emotions greatly. Okay, so they take it and they turn it into pedophilia and this and that. It's like I feel like the Republicans for so many years have been taking the strengths of our Democratic front runners and just using that, making it their weakness and saying things about that particular strength to take that strength away from them. So, thank you. And
the messaging, or like the opposite messaging, essentially, like even not to get off topic from today, but even just talking about packing into court. And I was watching Tucker Carlson the other night. I try and watch conservative media to see sort of like, Walter's going there and being in the middle of it. I'm like trying to see how do these people think, and it's everything that's like actually happening is spun where it's like, the Democrats, they're trying to take over this country and they're trying to, they wanted to destroy our democracy. And I'm like, what, you're the ones in power right now, and the best ones are like, when they talk about if Trump doesn't get reelected, we're going to have riots and we're going to have people that are going to be dying of COVID and all this stuff. And I'm like, he's the president right now. Like,
he's the incumbent.
Barrett, you know what? If you're talking to a bunch of people that won't think to zoom in on that piece of paper that Trump is signing as blank, then I can't help you. They're just naturally prone to believe anything that Fox News says, and anything that counters that, you're un-American. Yeah. You need to leave this country. Now, mind you, Barack Obama was president for 8 years, and none of them have considered leaving America. They hated him. But no one ever told them that they should leave if they didn't like America, because that's not how this works. Now, this is a segment of the show where I like to call, that's just not how this works. Because I don't think like you. You don't get to tell me to leave America, because that's not how this works. Okay?
Yep.
I still need your tax dollars so I can buy frames. You know what I mean? My point is, I can think differently than you, and you can think differently than me, but that doesn't mean you get to tell me to leave this country if I don't like that Donald Trump's a complete moron, because he is, and I get to stay. So thanks.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I find it crazy how something else that I've made a couple of videos about was how blatantly racist people are to Michelle Obama. It's like, you know, you can disagree about policies, but I always, it really truly amazes me where I'm like, people will say all kinds of just psychotic things about her being a man and about her being this and that. And I'm like, look, first off, even if that was true, why do you care? Secondly, she's not the first lady currently. And I'm like, you can literally go look up Melania's naked photos online. Like, I can go look at her porn online. And they're like, she's the classiest first lady that we have ever had. You know?
Such class.
I still love.
Meanwhile, her face is, sorry, Nikki, her face is buried knee deep into another woman's cooch on the airplane. Yeah, best first lady ever. Yeah.
No, I still love the meme. I still love the meme where it shows Biden it shows Trump and then Biden in the middle and then Kanye, and it says, "Yeah, I'm voting for the guy whose wife I haven't seen naked."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, they literally lost their minds when she showed her biceps. I've seen the inside of Melania's spleen from the you-know-where.
I'm telling you.
Does anyone know how she's doing? Does she get the experimental drugs too? Is she alive? Does somebody send a note? Where is the girl?
I think she ran for her. I think she packed her shit and went.
Anyway, I'm just gonna interrupt. I gotta run.
Okay.
Yeah, all of y'all can message me. I'll follow y'all back and let's collab together.
Walter.
One more question, Walter, because we're about to go to your video one more time. One more question. What were you thinking when you talked to this Ecuadorian crazy guy? And what were you thinking? Like,
I honestly, I didn't know this was at the end of the rally. I thought I had already had enough footage, and then I saw him with the Trump socks, and so I started with my microphone interviewing his socks, and then we just built a rapport from there, and then he started talking, and so like I had so many interviews already, and I thought, oh well, this was a great day, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh hi, and then we started talking, and then I was like, oh my god, stop talking. Like I've never in my life, I was half the time I was like, oh my god, please stop talking. I really don't want you to get fired on Monday. Like after you've said this told me that like about the Jewish plot for America and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, and I was thinking you have to. Oh, I hope he owns his own business. I was like, still like, yeah. And then it just fell in my lap just from talking to people. I thought I was gonna have to do this like gotcha journalism, and then apparently all I had to do was just let people speak long enough and then make them feel comfortable. Like I wasn't gonna like debate them. Like if you look in the video, I said, Pride Boys aren't violent. And he was like, yeah. And then he wanted to debate me on that point. He was like, yeah, we're not violent. However, we're going to start a civil war, you know?
So, Walter, we're actually going to be watching other sections of your video also. So we're going to be actually reviewing all these different parts you're talking about. So it's really awesome to hear for you what was going through your mind during this time. It's just so fun.
Honestly, where you saw that interview taking place, there's a pizza place right next to the rally, the Trump rally. We were going to just get food because we were hungry, we were tired, and go home. After that interview, we were like, and I started interviewing him on my way in. And then after that, we were like, okay, all of us are not hungry anymore. Like, we have all lost our appetites. We all need like serious antidepressants from listening to him for like 20 minutes. I was like, all of us, we got right in the car, left. No one we didn't speak to each other. So I have two cameramen that were with me. We didn't speak. We were like, and then finally we were like, I was like, that was horrifying. And they were like, oh my God, yeah. Because they all, not only did they, two of them are Jewish. And what he said off camera was, sorry.
Excuse you.
What he said off camera was like so like beyond that I was like, he basically told me and two Jewish people that the Holocaust never happened, and he went into detail as to why. He was like, 4 million Jews, really? How many Jews are there in the world? And I'm like, oh boy, here we go, here it comes, and I was like, and that on top of everything else, so it was like, and then he had a friend there, and on top of that, what's important to know when you play the rest of those clips, there were other Trump supporters surrounding us that were like being like, yeah, they were like big upping what he just said. This was not in a vacuum, because I'm not, a professional journalist. We only were focusing on him and his friend, but there were other people around us that wouldn't be on camera because they didn't want to get fired, because one of them was a school teacher. Timothais, like you said, good God. They all had like, this was not like some random person that we found. He had support of the people around him with pretty much a lot of what he said.
Right? You were undercover as a MAGA.
Yeah, I went undercover and you couldn't see my face. Also because people recognized me everywhere. I just went to a Trump protest today and tried to troll people. And very quickly, someone spotted me. They're like, I have footage of them being like, you troll, get out of here. And I couldn't fool anyone. So like I get recognized on the street. I get recognized so I was like, dude, if I get recognized at this rally, someone's gonna stomp me into wine, basically.
Just to piggyback off of what Walter you just said, just very, very quickly. I will never forget something that really shifted for me in 2016. I have always had kind of a fascination with the Holocaust, and I'd met with several Holocaust survivors and stuff, and I was meeting with a few of them, and I asked, I was just curious. This was like during the election still, and I asked what they thought of Trump, and this woman, it was just silence. And then the woman who survived the Holocaust, she was in Auschwitz. She looked at me and she just said, "It feels like watching history repeat itself." And that was like, that took me back,
History does repeat itself.
Yeah.
That's why there's the saying, which is.
Anyway, thank you, everyone.
Bye, Walter.
Bert, always a pleasure. Cheers, y'all.
Bye,
Congratulations. You did an awesome job, Walter.
You did. It was great.
Awesome.
It was a good video.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later, Walter. So make sure you guys subscribe to Walter Masterson. He is a great journalist, kind of independent journalist, and go subscribe to him. He is in the description below on everyone's feed. So make sure you follow him. We're going to bring on the moderate Democrat right here. Hello.
What's up, guys?
Howdy.
Oh.
And so right now, we've actually got something to play right now from Walter's clip. Here it goes. I'm going to play it right now. It starts off talking about Biden.
So you have to gear up, as we say. What's his name? The pedophile? Biden? Yeah. If he wins, if he steals the election.
Yeah. So if he won, there's no way he's gonna win. The only way he's gonna win is by stealing it, and then it's stand back, stand by, and wait for it
no longer would exist. It's stand up. Stand up.
Yeah.
Gear up. Basically, that's probably what you're gonna hear the words gear up, which means when we say that, it's like don't take out your gun unless you're gonna use it. So if you ever hear gear up, it means we're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready. It's there's no turning back, and there's gonna be total chaos. It's gonna come out for the good. You guys ever Book of Revelations? Says exactly everything that's gonna go down. We're gonna win this country back. I guarantee you that. We're gonna win this country back.
Tell the people at home, how do you follow Q?
Many ways. Some things I cannot say to you guys, not because I don't trust you guys, but you have so many people watching this channel. If you're not able to communicate with Q right now, there's a reason why, because you're not in that platform, and I'm not gonna explain that. Yeah.
Delete that.
Everybody, this is not meant for everybody to
Yeah,
really understand what's really happening.
Yeah.
Some people would love to be part of the team, but
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
So yeah, that's the next part of it. We've got multiple parts of this crazy interview. If you guys have not seen it already, So what are you guys' like? First of all, Biden is a pedophile according to this guy. I mean, and then he talks about the Book of Revelation. Like, but he also talks about the Book of Revelation like this is the Book of Revelation. Revelation book does not say anything about like. I mean, it does say some stuff about this, but not about this election exactly.
The hypocrisy is incredible with these people. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying the hypocrisy is incredible. Barrett, go ahead, honey. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Sorry. It's like a little bit of a delay. Sorry. But there's two big issues here. There's, you have the QAnon people, and then you also have the religious right. And so there's a lot of those people are some of them are drifting away from him now. But you have a lot of, American Christian culture. That's a whole nother conversation of how that and republicanism has blended together. That's a whole different story. But you have these two things like simultaneously taking place, and then sometimes they get combined. And so that's where the Book of Revelation comes in to talk about that kind of thing. However, what I find super, super crazy is the level of people that will like say something about the Biden being a pedophile or whatever. And I'm like, it's like what you were saying, Nikki. It's just how hypocritical and astoundingly hypocritical it is. Because you're like, okay, so he's hugged a couple kids, and don't get me wrong, like you can see him being a little too touchy at times, just in general, which he didn't come out and talked about. He's like, that's just how I am. I'm just trying to be loving. And he's like, but I realize that in today's day and age, it's something I need to adjust. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that over the dude who has 26 sexual allegations against him.
Those are the people that came out about it.
Yeah, has court documents of him molesting a 13-year-old girl with Epstein with witness testimony. I've gotten private messages from girls that were in Miss Teen USA, and when he owned it, and mind you, he bragged about going into their dressing room while they were straight up bragged about that. And I had
inspecting the goods, I believe he said.
Messaged me saying, yeah, he tried to come on to me, he touched me. Girls who have never said anything. Some girls participated in that. So it's just it's mind blowing.
A lot of Trump supporters I see on my page, they always take these pictures of like one time where he was at his son's funeral, and he was comforting his grandson, and he had his hand on his grandson's cheek, and these Trump supporters were like, he's clearly sticking a finger in the little boy's mouth. Who does that kind of thing? And I'm like, here's the video of his son's funeral where he's comforting his grandson. Nope, still, you shouldn't be putting a finger in a mouth. I'm like, you can't even see a finger in a mouth. There's no finger in a mouth.
I think that Joe Biden feels things so deeply. He has endured great loss in his life, and he has always been somebody that has always been deeply emotional. And I think sometimes that comes out. I am an emotional person as well, and I hug on and kiss on my kids all the time. So I kind of get where he's coming from on that. However, it's like, okay, well, we're in a private or like a social setting now. You kind of need to reel it back, but it's just what he does. He just feels that, and he's like just loves people, and that is he's a good man, and they, like I said earlier, they take this this positive, wonderful trait of somebody, the strength that somody has, and they turn it against them, and that's what they did with him.
Another thing to look at.
Wait. One thing. Can we get Bulletproofmedic? Because I haven't heard from him in a while. Sorry.
I guess I should apologize for that. And why I'm apologizing is also why I'm apologizing, because I'm just Canadian. I don't like to interrupt. because I'm Canadian, I'm apologizing for that. So, yeah, I wish I said something when Walter was still here, because when you'd asked, is there anything anyone wants to say about this clip, I wanted to point out that there you go I wanted to point out that they always rail on Democrats and everything for anonymous sources. Well, does anyone know who Q is? There's an anonymous source right there. So
it's in
maybe he's asked that before, but maybe it's something that he should be asking, because that's just.
I think on the whole pedophile thing, I think it's the 2020 version of Hillary's emails.
Yeah.
Truthfully,
Right.
It's just something to feed their base, something that they can yell out at a freaking rally and just spew hate. That's what it is.
They're still leeching onto it. They're still leeching onto that.
Well,
It's not working. It isn't working.
Yeah, it ain't working. It's garbage.
And there's some pictures out there that are so. I work with Photoshop sometimes. Like I design my own lines of merch. So I'm decent with Photoshop. I can look at a photo and I can tell you whether it's fake or not. But there's some of them out there that are so poorly photoshopped that anyone should be able to see this. And they're like, no, that's real. There was one that I saw. It was a young girl playing at some kind of concert. It was a flute or something like that. But she had tears in her eyes. Maybe she was happy to get the opportunity to play in front of people or something. I don't know. But they'd photoshopped Biden in there, and they'd done his face was just in front of hers, kind of. They were trying to make it look like he was, holding her while she was playing, and she was crying because of that. But it didn't work. The background was all messed up. Everything about it was wrong. But they look at that and they're like, "Oh, that is so real because that's him."
Yeah.
Well, and
they believe it like that.
It's so unfair to the people that have actually been victims, whether of just sexual assault in general, but especially children, because the reality is, especially with the QAnon conspiracy and whatnot, there are kids that are sex trafficked. And that is a real issue. And to me, I find it so insanely disrespectful to, if you really care about that, if you really want to say save the kids and all of that, it's like, what are you doing to actually change that? What are you addressing? What about the kids at the border? What about the kids, where were you years ago when this was taking place? Where are you in the churches and the places in our own country where that's taking place? Instead, you're spending hours and hours and hours online making up a conspiracy, blaming people that aren't, and believing that the person that is one of the biggest predators is the one who's the savior. I mean, it is so unbelievably disrespectful.
It's crazy. So here's the thing: is you have all these people going, "Oh, Trump's a pedophile," whatever. Oh, I'm sorry, or not Trump. Biden's the pedophile, whatever. And then you have all of these pictures with Trump. With Epstein
doing the same thing,
and then actual lawsuits against him. The 13-year-old that he raped and beat up, and all of these things.
It's fake news.
It's you actually care about the children. Why don't you dig a little deeper into your God that you hold up on a pedestal so high?
They know
this. They don't refuse.
It's a cognitive dissonance. They can't make those two jumps. They can't, we love Trump, and then they hear something terrible. It's a cognitive dissonance that they have an inability, to put those two things together, so they ignore the other one. And then the other problem is that psychologically, we all kind of do a thing where we put our faith and our trust in an expert, right? Like if I asked any of you, how does the toilet actually work? Like what is going on? You would go, oh, I probably don't know the exact, but I know a guy who knows, right? And that's how I know, right? These guys have put their faith in Sean Hannity and in Tucker Carlson and in Rush Limbaugh and in Ben Shapiro and all of these guys.
All the wrong people.
Just quite literally lying to them every single day.
Every day.
And convincing them that literally that up is down and that down is up. Right, to create an unbelievable.
It's because they know their base. They know that.
For example, too, when Trump caught COVID. Now there's a debate when he caught it, but the point is, Trumpsters were quiet for a couple of days because they didn't know how to react. They didn't know how to respond, or they didn't have anyone to tell them how to respond.
That's it
I
right
was
there.
at a
Lord,
rally.
You know what I mean? So I see
Lord.
what you mean.
Lord,
I see
did
I
what
saw
you
the
you-
live
mean.
page.
Okay, so some of you I'm not following yet, but I will be. But I noticed a huge drop off in the comments section from
Yes.
Trump supporters
Yes.
during that time. And then as soon as he wanted to come out on the, up on the White House veranda and do this with his, Superman shirt that he wanted to have under there because he's a crazy person and a 2-year-old all at the same time. Then they just came at me. Like, did you guys feel that whole
Yeah.
wave of
You know that if you follow my page, you'll see that I go right after Trump supporters all the time. I pose them the really hard questions, and I kept asking them like, "What do you guys think about this COVID thing? What do you guys think? What do you guys think?" Crickets, like nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the rally, I went to a rally a couple of days ago in Beverly Hills, and so they mostly think one of two things. One, somebody infected. First, it's a hoax, and it does. And then some
Plant it on the
people,
mic.
some liberals sprinkled it on a microphone.
Yeah.
They think that. It's also a hoax, and that it turns out that it's a hoax, and the president got a very mild strain of it because there are only mild strains of it. And that's why he was able to
It's amazing to me.
They don't know.
Amazing to me. It's amazing to me how they will bend themselves into a pretzel to fit whatever narrative man wants to portray. It is it bothers me so much because I have friends and family members that I have to they make me think that I'm the crazy one. And I just have to go, okay, all right, let's talk about it.
So you guys talking about Biden, like I've got a ad that's on the Trump YouTube channel, which only has 1.2 million subscribers, which is very small for someone as massive as Trump. It's extremely small. But anyways, that's not important. This is like a YouTube advertisement. He put it on the front of YouTube to show people like how Biden is horrible or something. Basically, I mean, just he just wanted to sabotage Biden's campaign, or it's basically fake news, which Trump hates. This is a video of Trump's fake news made by Trump. Actually, sorry guys, that's the wrong one. But I will show you guys later. I know where to find it. This is okay. I'm going to play you guys a different video of part 3 of the interview with Walter.
We believe that we have to build that wall. That's basically the way I feel when you have illegal immigrants coming in illegally. First thing they do, they get off the book jobs, right? Yeah. Off the books, tax-free, untraceable.
What do you think about Trump and his taxes?
Listen, I don't have any comment on that because I have no interest in that. You know, listen, Trump is a Christian. But he was a man once. You know what I mean? He was single. He was, he dated black women. You know, he did his thing. But he's still a Christian. That's all I care about. I'm a Christian. Maybe you guys are, but we're not the perfect.
What do you think is really going on right now with Trump? You think he's playing chess right now?
Yeah.
He's playing chess.
Yes, I believe so.
He does.
He's a very intelligent man.
Yeah, he's too smart. He doesn't believe in COVID.
No, he doesn't believe in COVID.
Yeah.
And if you guys understand that in the Hasidic community, when they came down with COVID, supposedly, they were attacked by city officials. Hey, you guys need to quarantine. He said, no, we're good because we're taking the hydrochloric. Yeah. They said, we're good. Our doctor's giving us that. So the first thing I said to them was, wait a minute, isn't that banned? But your doctor is giving you this medicine that works, that Trump, spoke about, that many people believe in. How the hell are you guys getting away with this? Because you got to think about it. You know what I'm saying?
So the Hasidics are doing stuff that's illegal.
They do it. They're not doing. I don't think it's illegal. I just think they're smart. It's illegal for us to have that. For the as we're considered the goyim or the minorities, it's illegal for us to be healthy. For them, they have we call that special treatment. They have privileges that we don't have.
Yeah.
Because from day one that I observed them in their neighborhoods, they never wore masks. You know what I'm saying? They never wore masks.
My grandfather died of COVID.
Cult
Anyways,
members.
just another.
I can't.
Yeah.
I literally had to take a migraine pill. I just can't. I don't understand this, guys. Come on. First of all, can I ask a question? Not that this means anything, but is he Hispanic? What? Who?
He's Ecuadorian. He's from Ecuador.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
He's crazy. What he
I'm
is.
talking about. Nothing is based in fact. Not a thing.
He's off his rocker, man.
I just don't.
Yeah, no,
There's no
you'll
rocker
see in the
left.
next parts.
Yeah,
You'll see
he's
in the next
on the
parts.
floor rolling around.
Can I ask an honest question of our panel right now? Where do you guys honestly see this election going? We are seeing numbers in early voting that are like off the charts. So what do you guys see happening? I just want to throw this out there because I am seeing, I honestly think that Trump is going to get crushed in this.
Well,
I agree.
We have to pretend that the polls don't exist.
I
That's the most
agree.
important thing. I get that courtesy of 2016, right?
Yeah.
Trump will do everything that he can think of to undermine his base's confidence in it. The ballots are fake. Too many were printed. Oh, not enough people voted. He'll do everything that he can think of in order to
We lost you, John.
into the courts, right? They want the results to be adjudicated in the courts, and then hopefully a judge will then lean towards Trump. That's why Democrats, if we come out in record numbers, right? In 2006, in the midterms, there were 10 million more Democrats that came out to vote in 2016. That's why we got 40 extra seats in the House, right? 10 million more Democrats. So if we come out and vote, it will be a landslide, right?
I feel. Sorry.
However,
I feel it. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, however, there's going to be every chance that he's going to do almost anything that you can think of, and then things that we haven't thought up yet to undermine the election, the base's confidence in the results.
And all
I feel the
great.
Go
ahead. No, go ahead, moderate. You go ahead.
I feel the 2008 vibe going on here when Obama was going against McCain. You could just feel it in the air.
Yes.
You can feel that ass whooping coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm seeing it on lives on Republicans on TikTok. You can feel that that mojo's going down. They're seeing that number. And man, I try to treat Republicans right, man, because I got a lot of Republican followers. You know, but I talk to them decent, but I'm like, look, that ass whooping's coming. You better be ready. Because you know what? You calling us snowflakes, guy? You know what? You got one coming for you guys, because this election, people are pissed off. And they gave 4 years ago, they rolled the dice with Donald Trump. They gave him a shot. And you know what? People ain't gonna make that mistake again.
I have to.
Americans are smart.
I
They're
cannot
gonna fix this mistake.
I cannot even tell you how many people have come to me or sent me messages where they voted for Trump in 2016 and they are like riding with Biden. Hundreds.
Yeah.
In addition to the veterans, my father is a veteran who feels the same way. They are sickened by this man. So the veterans, so many veterans have turned as well. And but we can't get complacent, guys. Like,
But you know, not for nothing. You know, these hearings are going on to confirm this Supreme Court seat. Every day this is on. It's actual an actual long running pro ad for Biden, because all of these senators that said that you can hold my words against me, you see them every day doing just the opposite. Lindsey Graham is going to lose.
Oh,
and Mitch McConnell's race is going to be a lot closer than he'll probably win, but it's going to be a lot closer than he thinks it is.
Have you seen
Collins
that clip?
is lost. Ernst is lost. McSally has lost. They have all lost because they're participating in these hearings, and people are seeing this every day. So their opponents are making. They don't need the Lincoln Project. They're running a free ad every day that these hearings are going on.
But I wanted to talk about the lines that are already seen in some of the states like Georgia and the early voting places. They've got lines that are like a mile long. Literally, I've got a TikTok video that literally goes for a mile. It would take 8 hours, maybe 5 hours to get through this line. It's massive.
Are you going to start that? Can I just say something before you start? If you're going to play video, can I just say, Black and brown people have been enduring lines like that since voting began in this country. That ain't nothing new. We pack a lunch and a seat and something to drink, and it's shocking to you guys because you're seeing it. Oh, that's awful. But Black and brown people have been enduring this since the whole.
I think it's fantastic that people are getting out there. I think it's a fantastic fight.
Come on, you give me a box.
9 million people have already voted. 9
we
million.
got to change that, you guys. We got to actually change those lines. We have to.
It's not going to happen. You know why? You know what? It's just not going to happen because the only way Republicans can win is if they suppress. This country doesn't look like them anymore. It's not going to happen. They're allowed to gerrymander. They've been allowed to fill federal judge seats that keeps these voter suppression laws in place until we change in these local elections and we start voting in these midterms. That's the only way we can start chipping away at the way this is. Right now, this is how it is, and this is what it is.
And what 2016 don't realize is that the pendulum always swings, you know? So the pendulum is always going to swing. So the people that it's so crazy when people are like calling Biden a socialist and stuff. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, especially the people that are like even further left, they're like, he's essentially a Republican to them, you know? I mean, and so it's one of those things that's really crazy. And so when the pendulum it's gonna swing. And so when you're pushing something so far right and you're fighting us so hard, you better watch out because you're gonna get what you think we are now. You know, that's where it's gonna go. And so the balance is gonna become harder and harder.
I honestly think with the election now, honestly, I feel like there has been so much coverage. And I think a lot of people, many people got too complacent in 2016, whether it be Democrat or people like, oh, I'm just going to vote the independent because I don't like Hillary. You know, it is not like that anymore, guys. I am telling you, it is, people are fired up. They are seeing their streets like in chaos. They are seeing it on the news. They're seeing the instability of the person that is supposed to be leading our country. So if anybody out there is watching this right now, vote, please.
I talk about that every night in my lives. We need a president that's ready to be the president of the United States, not the president of only the red states. We need a president of the United States. We need a man that's ready to lead this nation out of this pandemic. We need a real leader, and that's why it's got to be Joe Biden, man, all the way.
I wanted to say that BrainDaddy had something to say. I'm not sure. BrainDaddy.
I'm in Arizona, and where we don't typically go out early and vote this much, but they had like record numbers of voting, not just because they want to see Biden win, but they also want to see McSally voted out as well. And
there you go.
Because we didn't vote for her. No one voted for that woman. And so we don't want her. And so we're all going to the polls like crazy early to vote like both of these people out.
And then Bulletproofmedic, what do you think after you drink that? Like, what do you think about this whole voting suppression thing? What is your take on this?
Well, I wanted to go back to Nikki's question. I posted something in the chat. So there was an article that I read. The first one that I posted was the wrong one. I apologize for that. So there I go, being Canadian again. The second one's correct, and it was a very scary article that I read. This was a couple months back, but it detailed how Trump could lose the election but still remain president, and he's laying the groundwork for it already. And it's basically he's claiming that there's going to be a lot of fraud with the ballots and everything. He's going to challenge it in the courts. The GOP-packed courts are going to side with him and say, okay, these swing states are invalidated because of what the GOP. It says in there what the GOP courts will do is eventually just delay it past the set dates that each state has to have their ballot count in by. Once that goes past, it invalidates the votes from those states, and then it's left with the states that would give him a win, and then he would be able to remain president. That's a really dumbed down version of it.
No, unfortunately, no. Invalidated election doesn't mean he gets to stay president. That's not how this works. Nancy Pelosi will become the interim president until they figure out what to do about it. Trump thinks this logic, I'm sorry, I know you're in Canada, but this logic is flawed. It's not how it works.
My explanation, it's a very dumbed down, and I'm trying to remember, I tried to look it up while we were talking.
No,
here,
I know.
but my
I read
keyboard
that
was too
article
loud.
too.
Yeah,
I
I've
read
seen
that
it.
article.
I understand that, but you guys also too have to understand that he has to prove voter fraud. Now, remember, we have 5 states that already vote exclusively by mail-in ballot. It's going to be very hard to prove to a court, let alone a Supreme Court, that all of a sudden there's massive voter fraud when we've been doing it successfully in 5 states for many years. And when you went on TV saying that you don't think it's going to be fair, already poisoning the well, and you mess with the post office to do that, you have to prove 3 or 4 cases here. And you think you're going to install Amy Coney Barrett to she just said today, actually, I happened to catch it. She says, I'm not a stupid woman. I'm not a pawn. These are her words. I'm not a stupid woman. I'm not a pawn. If you think I'm going to allow President Trump to use me and my good legal mind to rig the election for him, you all are sadly mistaken. Those are her
She's
words.
a liar. She's
Now,
a liar.
No,
Probably so.
paid for it.
Probably
That's
so,
what
but
the
then
Federalist
again,
Society does.
I know,
Those
but
guys
probably
are not
so.
respected.
But then you know what? She has now gone on the record saying that, and then we
Doesn't
can
matter.
hold that
Mitch
against
McConnell
her.
went on the record and said that he wouldn't try to seat a Supreme Court justice in the
I know,
last
but do you-
year of the
but do you-
president,
but do you
and he
see
just
where-
lied about it. That
Do you
Amy
see where this? I know, but
All
do
I
you see
know-
where this puts her? This puts Chief Justice Roberts in the position to make her recuse herself. So she's already poisoned the well for herself, regardless.
Can I interject a woman here?
They will figure out a thing. Those people from the Federalist Society have been working for 10 years to get conservative justices onto the Supreme Court.
I understand
to
that.
overturn Roe versus Wade.
I
They've been doing.
understand that.
They've been focusing
I
on it for 10
understand
years. Believe
I
me, there is no
understand that.
chance. If whatever we think, we're wrong because we are inclined to believe that people are honest, right? And
I
they
Can
are
I-
trained by
can
a
I-
different set of rules.
At this particular time, though, I mean, he tried twice with Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, and Chief Roberts made them recuse themselves. It's the they don't want to politicize it's just not going to happen in this case. I just don't think so, and that's just how I feel very strongly about it.
May I
really do.
Let's let Nikki talk.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm back.
So,
I'm sorry.
okay, so Amy Coney Barrett has ties to a misogynistic cult where men oversaw and they dictated what women should say and do and all of this other crazy crap that comes with this particular instance. Okay, she is now in the Supreme Court. I don't care what she is saying to the public.
Right.
It is, and she's like, it's the law. But what happens if those tendencies, those misogynistic tendencies that she feels, breaks her down when it comes time to make a decision? Those are those tendencies that scare me. She may have all the best interests in the world, but then when it comes down to it, she folds because of what she has been through in her life and the tendencies that she has because of this cult.
Yeah.
Those guys at the Federalist Society have not invested millions and millions and millions of dollars into figuring out who the next Supreme Court justice should be and then suggesting someone who isn't going to carry out what their goals are 110%.
You're right.
John.
He's right.
Well, they got a smack in the face when Neil Gorsuch went against them, so it can happen again.
I hope it does, Lord. I really hope it does.
It's the
I hope
truth.
she's found her nuggets.
My point is, just because you can't willingly tell someone that's what they're being put there for and not have us have a say about it after the fact. It'll be, already more mutiny than it already is in this country. But I just don't. Everything that's gone in the way of the Supreme Court for Trump has backfired on him. And I think this will too, is my point.
I know Republicans are pulling out left and right from this guy. They're like failing ship like it's the Titanic. They're like, I'll drive.
I have another clip to play from Walters. I've got one more clip. Does anyone have Barrett? I think, yeah. Oh, you have to go. Let me, okay.
So I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm sorry, but it's now 5:30 here, and I just have to get going. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. Please go run your clip.
No, Joe. John. we need you to say what you do in your channel right now. It's an outro for you because you're leaving the live stream. So we're going to focus on you right now. Just one minute and give your outro and talk about your channel.
Well, I have a channel. It's called Be Less Stupid, BELESS, You can find it on YouTube and on TikTok. I do investigative pieces. I do a lot of undercover stuff at Trump events. I really hate the president. I've been to the border a dozen different times. I went down to see the refugees down in Tijuana. I've been to all the Trump properties undercover and filmed where stuff was bought, right? Like the building in Las Vegas, all of the steel is from Chicago. And then I filmed inside the room and I looked at the labels on every piece of item, every piece of furniture, every pillow, every little thing. Anyway, that's all up on the website. You can see it at Be Less Stupid on YouTube and shorter versions of things on TikTok. Anyway, instead of focusing on me, I want to remind people, go to vote.org. Make sure that you are registered to vote. And if you can only do one thing to help in the election, that is get someone and make them your voting buddy, right? Offer to take a neighbor who is elderly to the polls. Make sure that your parents go, or make sure that you're a friend. The two of you go together, and now we got 2 votes instead of just 1.
Yep.
So please do that.
John, you're awesome. So nice meeting you.
It was nice. Thank you for letting me sit in. It was very nice.
Oh, and John, and I hope that we can have you again very soon. It was really great to have you.
I'm happy anytime.
Thank you,
Just
John.
call me, and I'll be there. I like
this. That's amazing. Yeah, so we'll see you on maybe Friday or next Tuesday, just whatever day is good for you. So
you just let me know. You
Okay,
know
great.
how to find me. I'll be there.
Awesome. See you later, John. Have a great
John.
night.
Bye.
And I'm sorry that I
Bye, John.
interrupted. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay.
No,
Debate it.
this is what
How
we
very
do.
Canadian of you.
Okay.
This is what we do. We have to get everyone's information so that people can go subscribe to John. So make sure you go subscribe to John. He's down here in the list in the description below. He's a great guy, and go subscribe to his TikTok and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Follow his TikTok, subscribe to his YouTube channel. So anyways, you just
me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Okay, and so next I'm going to play a Biden clip. It's like maybe 2 minutes long or a minute and a half long. It's the next clip here.
I'm watching him through the glass. I can't go in the room. They just happened to do a COVID test, and he came back positive. And my Marxist bitch of a sister is like mansplaining comorbidities to me and everything, and it's just ridiculous.
You have to understand what a virus is. It's not supposed to be transmuted from the air. It's supposed to be, transmitted through, like let's say semen, or through blood, through blood, and
blood,
maybe saliva,
so,
but
blood,
not as strong.
Semen, saliva,
Right.
and what else? That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
You can go back to years back and look at how many people die of complications of the flu. It happens. It's life. It usually afflicts the elderly. Why? Because their immune system compromised. They're older. They're weaker. That's it. But it's weird how it all happened because Trump was doing his thing. Unemployment was
I think George Soros is who gave the hydroxychloroquine to the Hasidics in Brooklyn that you were talking about.
No.
How did they get it?
The Jews got their own police. Okay, they got their own police. They don't follow our rules. This officer is not allowed to touch any Jew. Okay, because he's a Gentile. He ain't clean. They have their own police to deal with their own problems. They're smart. They get their own medications from their own doctor. They live by their own rules, man. They don't follow our government. What's their goal? The Zionists goal: take over the world, get rid of the Goyim. What Moses says, they're the chosen people, and this is their goal. And I'm not surprised if they have a lot to do with this bullshit that's happening right now too.
What? Yeah, so it's just crazy.
A lot to take in.
Yeah.
Can
If anyone's just coming on the live right now, yeah.
Where can I find me a Jewish police officer? I want my own. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, it's crazy.
Can the gays have one too, or?
Christian.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, Barrett. Barrett's trying to talk. Barrett, what are you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that. Sorry, I was just saying that that same guy earlier in one of the videos was saying that he was a Christian and he liked Trump because he was a Christian. And it's just so funny because I'm like, you both read the Torah. Like the Old Testament is the Torah. Like it's so crazy to me how many Christians are anti-Semitic in America when I'm like, you are supposedly coming from the same place and believing the same thing of Jewish people being the chosen people, yet somehow, I mean, it's so crazy.
It's really crazy. And he said that the virus is something that's through semen or blood.
Yeah, blood
that was really crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
HIV? I thought that was HIV. Yeah?
Exactly.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me how flippant they are about a virus that's killing so many people. It's just so nonchalant about it.
Mike, here's the thing about this virus is that if it hasn't touched them personally,
Right.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
Like, that's the thing that I think makes me the most mad is that, oh, well, it's not affecting me. I'm good.
Correct.
I have two elderly parents I worry about on a daily basis. My father had lung cancer, has like one lung completely removed. I worry about him daily. And it's like people.
I hear. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying that it really pisses me off that people they throw it to the sidelines because it hasn't affected them personally.
Yeah,
And
I've been mocked
as a
before.
society, stop thinking that way. Go ahead.
I've been mocked before because I have two elderly parents. They both have heart disease. My mom's diabetic. And I'm like, I want to do everything to protect them. And they're like, you such a liberal snowflake. You believe in all these blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm sorry for caring about others. I'm sorry that's not in your DNA, but it's mine.
Lord, how you mentioned a second ago about you said something about it. I thought that was HIV. What's really ironic about that topic in particular is that if you study HIV and the history of HIV and all that, when people are talking about people are getting upset and they're saying, "Oh, look, COVID's fake," because they're saying, if someone has asthma, for example, if someone has asthma, they're like, "See, they actually had asthma. They died from asthma, but they're saying it's COVID, so that's fake." And here's the thing: it's like, nobody dies from AIDS. Nobody dies from AIDS. These people have a virus, and it's other infections, other types of disease, other things. That is what comes in their body, and so it's like it's the same type of thing where if you have two things working against you instead of one, you're more likely to die. Like, and people are just like, "Oh, well, see, they just wrote it down, so it's fake."
You hear it. They say.
Trevor Noah? Did you see Trevor Noah yesterday? The guy, one of the roving reporters, like what Walter does, he went out to a Trump rally, and the first one I guess it was in Florida yesterday, and the guy asked the woman, he says, Trump hasn't. There's no real proof that he's actually negative. Oh, I don't care. So where's your mask? Oh, I don't need one because you can't die from it because the president's living proof that he's like. Well,
so that's 210,000 people.
Yeah. He says, well, you do realize he received the only person to receive an experimental drug that you probably could never afford. You do realize that. Well, I don't care. I'm willing to die. I don't care.
You hear it all the time. They say it's a 99% survival rate, right, from it. But that 1%, when it's somebody that you love, it's 100% to you.
Yep.
And people don't get that. They freaking forget that.
This brings me to the point of, not the point, but a person that I'm having on this Friday has actually had a grandpa that died from COVID, and he's coming on. He's a TikToker, and he's also he's coming on Friday. Yeah, I do edit him too, and I just talked to him last night, and he's coming on this Friday, so we can hang out with him. And he's just a really nice guy. I talked to him for like a half an hour yesterday.
Man, his video got to me, man. That got to me.
Yeah, me too.
I lost my grandpa last year, man. I'm like, man, that got to me.
Yeah, I lost my grandpa a year and a half ago. It was sad, but
I'm sorry, Bert and Nikki, as you guys know, I sometimes can't participate because my elderly in-laws live, 20 minutes away, and they're Fox News watchers. They are. God. He is convinced that. So sorry. He's convinced that it's over. He's convinced that.
No, it's not.
It's not even close to being over.
You're in the very beginning.
Yeah, well, he's 90, so he's knocking on 90's door. So he's convinced that he can climb trees and fly off the rooftops because COVID's
How
done.
did your husband handle this? I've heard your husband talk in video.
He's amazing. I love your husband.
It's a lot of swearing behind closed doors.
There you go.
I love Lord. I love your guys'.
We have these people in our family, so we have to deal with it any way we can.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I mean, like I was saying, when I left the cult, there were people that helped me and were there, even that I looked up to. And one of those people that I even looked up to, I will never forget in 2016 when I saw on Facebook they posted that they believed that Trump was a prophet of God.
Oh gosh!
And seeing the level of whether it's Fox News or whether it's online or whatever it is, to see the level of brainwashing is, like I was saying earlier, it's really scary, and especially with old elderly people because of what's going on right now. You're like, what? You can't believe that,
Why is it so easy? Like, since you've been a part, why is it so easy for them to be so easily convinced and turned?
You know why? Because he speaks to he's told us he's the kind of person. Trump has told us, I like the stupid.
Yeah,
he's told us this.
The uneducated.
He has convinced these folks that he is just like them, and he's everything that they're striving to be, and they'll never be that. In fact, these are the same people, of course, per the famous Howard Stern. He says, these people, you hate these people. You would never let them in your hotel. Why do they love you so much? Oh, I love the stupid. I love the stupid.
Don't forget that he's an entertainer. The first
yes.
Who
said that?
I did.
He's the greatest BSer of all time.
He's an entertainer, and so everything we are essentially right now, we are living in a reality TV show.
Yep.
And, even that show. I mean, even the producers from The Apprentice have come out and been like, "Yeah, this dude's a psycho." So, but that's the reality. Is he's an entertainer. He knows how to brand. He knows Hollywood. He knows how to interact with people. He knows how to sell a product. I mean, all of those things are what we are seeing from the president.
That's
so
funny
because
you say
Hollywood
that,
hates
Barrett.
them.
Did you guys see? I think it was Trevor Noah that did this just the other day when Trump came back from the hospital and he was in the White House. And he came out on the lawn and he's talking about this Regeneron and he hasn't felt this good in 20 years. And Trevor Noah, like the Daily Show, took it and made it into like this
infomercial.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
it was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, if I don't meet Trevor Noah or Stephen Colbert in my life, I'm really going to be sad.
Well, did you see that he refilled his entrance? That whenever he went out after COVID and he went to did that entrance where he was gasping for air.
He wanted to rip his shirt open with the Superman.
But there was an aerial footage looking in. You could see the camera crew behind him that they were filming for a commercial for him or something, and he wanted to refilm his entrance out, saying, I'm survived COVID, whatever.
I want to hear from Bulletproofmedic really fast. Any words you want to say about this?
I made this.
So sweet.
I kind of made this point in one of my videos where, my line, the joke was, it's so heartwarming to see that he received the exact same level of care as every other rich American, and it's mind-boggling to see the supporters say, "Wow, it's amazing that he." And I don't know whether or not he actually did have there's a lot of people that say if he's out that quick, maybe he didn't, maybe it was just a ploy to get sympathy or something like that. So I can't say for sure whether he did or didn't have COVID. It did look like he was gasping.
I think he did.
I think he did too.
I think he did.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't say for sure. But the people out there that support him and say, well, I don't care if I can't get that medicine. Someone brought this up before. I'm willing to die for this cause.
Yeah.
And then also there's the hypocrisy of it because they were saying that one of the cocktails that he was given was involved some stem cells in an aborted child.
It does.
Like,
That's what I heard.
It actually wasn't stem cells, but yeah, it was from the line of an aborted child in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. For the
Hypocrisy.
you know, the abortion party, it just, my brother is a Trump supporter, and we have them in Canada. And the Trump supporters are also the guys that are, screw Trudeau, and I can't get an answer out of him for why. I try to talk to him about the politics. I don't know about the politics of it. I just support the guy.
Yeah, they support the entertainer, not the politician.
Yeah, exactly. He has nothing political to say. There's no
he has
politics.
nothing.
There's nothing.
Well, is your brother in Canada?
Yeah, he's
okay. Good.
Right.
We're good.
We have enough of them here. Thanks.
Well, Nikki, you were saying earlier.
They vote for him because he hates the same people that they do.
Yeah.
It's just the wrong reason to vote. Like, come on.
Yeah, I was just Nikki, like you were saying earlier, that there are a lot of Democrats that are. A lot of Republicans that are now turning and voting against Trump. But like I was saying earlier as well, there's the flip side of that where, and Walter was saying as well too, that the QAnon conspiracies and the stuff that's happening online, it's really hard to predict what is actually going to happen because there's a lot of things going on where people are staying kind of quiet about certain things. And especially people that perhaps were lifelong Democrats and they're now wrapped up into this thing that by the rest of the world is seen as a conspiracy. It's hard to see what that balance is exactly. Also, really quickly, a couple days ago, I made a video, a 9-part series of a response to this woman. And you guys are probably on the maybe the Clapper now. The Clapper, I did that, the Clapper app or whatever. I did a couple on there, but anyway, there was a woman that I saw on there. Which when I first got on there, I was terrified, and just because I don't know, there was a lot. But this one lady on there, I made a response to her, and it was that same kind of thing about she at first didn't believe in COVID at all. All these people didn't believe in it at all. And now that he finally got it, then they're saying like, oh, well, see, he led the way to find the cure for COVID. I mean,
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
He got COVID on purpose to help the research. He did not want COVID. Trump did not. Oh, sorry, Nikki. Yeah.
They will find a way to make him look godly.
Oh yeah.
And even these heavy pro. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the video that I made about this. It was actually a 3-part series because I had somebody coming at me from the right side who was very sweet, by the way. She was a younger girl, but here's the thing about it. It does use in the testing cells from an aborted fetus from the 70s. However, those cells have been mutated, which is like another line. So it's not actually from those particular cells. I know I'm losing you guys, but here's the thing. This is my question to pro-lifers is, if it was not for this aborted fetus in the 70s, if you were all into this, saving lives, if it wasn't for that aborted fetus in the 70s, they would not have any of these drugs. And your president would have died or he would have gotten severely sick. So you can't have it both ways. Like you got to choose one or the other here.
Oh, they love doing it though. They love it.
You guys, I wanted to play a quick video, and then I've got one more video of Walter in his interview, but I wanted to play the video that I wanted to play earlier that I mixed up with another video because Trump has very similar thumbnails, but I picked this video out because it's kind of in Trump's mind how the debates went. This is how, in his mind, the debates went with him and Biden. So, I mean, it's going to make you guys crack up. This was advertised on the front of YouTube, and Trumpy Bear, as the medic always says, Trumpy Bear, he wanted to show how he won the debate with Biden, and this is how he did it. And he paid YouTube to put this on the very front of YouTube, and I clicked on it, and because I just want to see what it says. And this is what it is. Okay, guys, I'm going to just play it right now.
Okay, Bert.
No more talking. Just play it.
First of all, where do you want to see the court take the country? And secondly, what's your view on how the Constitution should be interpreted?
That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh?
That's the question. Please, quiet, everybody.
We're getting nervous,
Hold on
man.
just a moment,
My
folks,
wife has to
because
go on
this is going to
at
end up
6
getting out of
o'clock.
control. Let's try to keep it quiet so for the candidates
You
and
got
for the
more
American
questions,
people.
but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I want to thank you both for participating. Now the decision is up to you.
Classic.
Man, you spent money on that crap?
He put it on the front of YouTube. He paid people to edit that, and then he decided to go pay money to get it on the front of YouTube. He has a big campaign on YouTube. They pay a lot of money to YouTube to be on the front. It's on the sponsor side on the very top. So yeah, it actually it's got 50% dislikes and 50.
This ad, I wish I could spare
Wow.
her. I wish I could.
I'm pro Biden from that ad.
Can you
Wow.
believe this ad? You are like gone. I'm sorry. You're gone.
So you guys, I got actually other ads. I got other ads I would love to show you guys maybe on Friday because we've got like very limited time and I want to hear you guys' opinion on the last bit of Walter. But yeah, there's some crazy ads that he has like of a guy that's like a dump truck driver, and he's a black guy, and he is talking to the camera and just talking straight to the camera, and it's just not edited and not well done at all. And he makes no good points. He put that on the front of YouTube as a actual ad for Trump. Like
It's like
this black guy, like a vlog.
I just want to say really quickly, because there's been so much propaganda about, Biden's hiding in his basement and all that stuff. The actual debate, the only way that they can like say, they can justify it. I literally saw a video earlier today on TikTok of this woman, and it had quite a lot of traction. She had zoomed in on the reflection from the lights on Joe Biden's eyes, and was saying that they were contacts with screens inside, where someone was sending him the answers.
Oh my God!
100% dead serious. It was not like a joke.
No.
And all these people are commenting like, "Oh yeah, I saw that." Like,
oh God.
They also say he has something in his veins on his hand too.
I couldn't even write jokes like that. Jeez.
What do you think? What do you think about this ad, Bulletproof Medic? Like, if Justin Trudeau played this ad in Canada against his opponent, what would happen? Give us the rundown of what you Canadians would think, because I don't know what Trump is thinking by playing this ad.
Okay, you know what? I would have to say the mic drop moment here would be that ad isn't legally allowed to be played in Canada because we have the equivalent version of the fairness doctrine. So mic drop right there, done.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think when Joe Biden gets into the office, he should bring back an updated version of the fairness doctrine that covers the cable news stations. And I mean, there's lots of stuff that would have to go into that because it was originally meant for the public airwaves, etc. But that's one of the reason that Fox is and MAGA is infiltrating America. And I made this point on Twitter, and it took off. A lot of people forget that the first country that the Nazis invaded was their own. And I said, MAGA is currently invading America.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them vote. But what is breeding this is the disinformation. If the fairness doctrine hadn't been killed in 1987, this kind of crap wouldn't have been allowed to play, not to the extent in which that it is currently, anyway.
You see the difference between like a Trump ad and a Biden ad? It's like Michael Bay does Donald Trump ads. Like Transformers director does this BS.
Whenever Trump was sick, Biden pulled any negative ads from Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been super positive, man. All his has.
I've got another ad to play that I just downloaded to play for you guys. It's not the one that I talked about with the dumpster guy, the black guy that's like talking good about Trump. Because that's like a 1 minute ad, at least a 1.5 minute ad that's unedited, uncut, like a vlog style from a dumpster guy that's black that's voting for Trump. And it's very authentic, but it's really a bizarre one. But this one is a homeless guy. This is another ad that was from yesterday. So I'm going to just play this. It's only like 20 seconds long or 30 seconds long, but here it is.
I'm an Army vet. I was homeless. I was sleeping in my car and didn't have any hope for a long time.
Then Tony Rankin was offered a second chance. President Trump's opportunity zones gave new investments to neglected communities, and jobs are coming back.
Life is good now. Life is worth living. The president does want to help people like myself to be lifted back up in these low-income communities.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
He's propaganda.
Yeah,
very big propaganda. I mean, you can't really knock a guy. The guy got helped out from that particular bill. You can't knock it. You can't knock the man for being appreciative.
I'm not knocking him at all.
You know, so that's the way I look at that. You know, I'm not going to slam Trump for that. Okay, that particular bill helped that fellow American. So that's a good deal for him. It's his constitutional choice to choose who he wants to vote for at the end of the day. So if that bill helped him, it helped him.
The problem is we've got healthcare right now through Obamacare. Like I've got healthcare, but after 1 or 2 months from now, I will not have healthcare because Trump and this Supreme Court has changed and flip-flopped. And they're going to remove the Obamacare. I'm really not going to have Obamacare. So I'm actually going to be – that's why I'm going to Albania. I'm literally leaving. I'm going to a place with less COVID. And I don't want to have to pay $1,000 a month or $800 a month or $1,500 a month for healthcare, whatever price it is. I don't even go to the doctor. I haven't seen the doctor here in the United States in 8 years. And I'm sure Bulletproofmedic, you can talk about the doctor in Canada right now. What do you think about the Canada healthcare system versus the American healthcare system? Because it's not working out here. I mean, it's Obamacare helps, but we've got a long way to go. What do you think about this?
I'm kind of blown away by everything that you just said. That is, I mean, it's literally and metaphorically foreign to me. People in America on the right like to rail against Canada and other like the UK, France, etc. for the socialist Medicare for all programs, because let's say there's long wait times. Well, it's not really. It's triage. It's if you are say terminally ill with cancer, you're getting seen right now. If you go into the hospital with a broken arm, you're getting seen. Probably behind the person having a heart attack, but you're getting seen relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to
Well,
the person
same here.
with maybe like broken toe, low on the totem pole. Then you got the broken arm. Then you have the heart attack. It's the same thing with specialist visits. If you need to see an oncologist because they just found out you're stage 3, you're getting in to see that oncologist. If you're say stage 1, then yeah, maybe it takes 8 months, but you're getting the treatment. It's free. The last time I went to the hospital, I had pleurisy. So there's the pleural space between in the chest, pleural space, let's just call it that. There was an infection there. I was in there from the time I walked in the door to the time I walked out, 3 hours maximum. And it was probably more like 2.5. I didn't have to mortgage my house afterwards. I didn't have to pay a damn thing. And the doctors were, well, the doctor that I dealt with, he was kind, he was caring, intelligent. The care was really good. And I don't understand why the richest country in the world can't figure out how to do. Our system is not perfect.
Yeah.
But it is so much better than what America has.
I
understand.
It's a straight up greed. That's what it is.
Capitalism.
Straight up greed.
I made a video about this. I think it was yesterday, actually, exactly what you said. In 2016 was the last time that they ranked everything, like, I guess, worldwide. And we are the richest country in the world, most powerful country in the world. In 2016, we ranked 27th in healthcare and education.
Man, I'll share a personal story on this, on how much his healthcare costs. 4 years ago, when my daughter came into this world, she came in like 7 weeks early, and she had to be in the NICU unit for 2 weeks. That 2 week stay was $68,000.
Oh my God.
My wife's emergency surgery that she had to have, $38,000.
On top, oh my God.
On top of that. So I understand when you're talking about these bills, I mean, how crazy this healthcare, yeah, it's stupid expensive. And it's all about cost. It's outrageously expensive.
It will bankrupt
for a lifetime. Look at Canada. Like, it's not like, that's the craziest part, is it's not like this is the first time this has ever been done. It's like, look at other large countries, and not that we have to do it exactly like them, but like, look at other large countries and like plan something that allows us to have some kind of like functional system.
Okay, I have to say something. Like, I've lived in China for 9 years, and I would say that their healthcare system is really superior to the United States, because like, you actually get affordable healthcare. Like, to see how much it costs to get an x-ray on your arm, it's literally $7 US, only 50 RMB. In America, that would be $1,000 just to get the first x-ray and the guy that's specialist. And so, like, I've been to the hospital multiple times for multiple reasons, but I fell into because I was doing a TV show, and I fell into a pit. They don't have really safety laws in China, so they lack on that. But I fell into this pit, and I hit my arm on this light. I fell like 5 feet down, and then hit my arm on the light. And then I had to see if my arm was broken, and it just cost me $7 to go see the guy that's got the x-ray, and he can tell me if it's broken. Telling me it's a hairline fracture or whatever. It's $7. And I mean, okay, not just that, but there's multiple things. Multiple times I've been to the hospital. It's affordable. It's like $30. You see a real doctor, and you speak Chinese. I speak Chinese to the doctor. I say, oh, well, yao, jiga, nigga. And maybe I have to get a translator if I really cannot understand what they're saying, because I don't understand all Chinese. I understand a good amount of Chinese, but not the medical lingo Chinese. So I mean, but either way, I get by, and the doctor sometimes speaks a couple words of English. So either way, but anyways, it's not that important. But Australia's got healthcare. Vietnam's got healthcare. Great Britain's got healthcare. Ireland's got healthcare. I mean, everywhere has healthcare except for the United States.
We put profit over compassion. That's what we did. Profit over compassion.
You're right.
One needle
we got
here.
Good healthcare just costs too much.
Yeah, one needle can cost like $100 here in the United States. It should only cost like 20 cents. But here in the United States, one needle, they're going to bill you like $50 or $100 or $200. I mean, it's insane.
I have to get MRIs every couple of years for my back, and they're like a few $1,000s each time, just for one picture of my lower spine.
Guys, it's just like government. Every year the government has to submit a budget. That's why the Pentagon can spend $600 for a hammer and $700 for a toilet seat, because they have to put all this in a budget. And hospitals are now privately owned, so they have to have a budget to present to their board so they can have this money every year, because if you don't spend it, you lose it. Healthcare costs are been allowed to, the ambulances are privatized. They have to be rolling hospitals, so they have to account for everything while you're in that 10-minute ride to wherever they're taking you, and you don't get to choose that; they choose it.
Yep.
So Barrett, we've allowed to happen, and it's unfortunate. It needs a total whole new redo. Bernie Sanders.
I was just gonna say two things really quickly, Lord. I totally agree with you, and it's wild. And the second thing was just. I appreciate all of you guys. You all are awesome. I was going to say just really quickly, though, specifically about the medic. What's your screen name?
Bulletproofmedic.
Bulletproofmedic. just being from Canada, I appreciate you. I'm sure we all do appreciate you having, being from another country and having an interest. At times we're like, I don't know, from the culture that we grew up in, I feel like we see sort of the United States as like we're leading the world and things. We're like, and so whenever our own country and we're experiencing is like such a, mess right now, it sometimes feels kind of lonely. You're like, is anyone, is anyone gonna help us? Or does anyone understand? And then the other one I was gonna say is the moderate Democrat too. I mean, again, I appreciate all of you guys, but just being from Ohio, and like I said, I grew up in Ohio, and you don't necessarily. I could maybe make an assumption about you. Like if I saw you in Ohio, which I went to school in Ohio. If I saw you in Ohio, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's a Trump supporter.
Automatic. I get it all the time. All the time in my life. They're like, oh, white guy, Ohio. No, I'm a full-blooded Democrat all the way. Registered Democrat all the way.
So I just
because I'm white, don't make me automatic Republican. I'm telling you, it drives me nuts.
And I'm not a Karen. Not even.
Yeah, you're not a Karen, Nikki. I watch all your videos, Nikki. I know when you put your head to the left, someone's about to get some truth told to them. When you do that, I love it.
Thanks.
Well, listen, I can be an angry black man. I wear that title proudly. I'm sorry. Even though I get called really, really white in here, I mean, you don't believe how I have to defend my own blackness against white people. But you're not really black, though. You're whiter than anybody. I find myself defending my own race against white people. It's just funny to me. Funny.
Oh, I get that. I get that all the time as a woman who I think I look like a woman. Not that it matters, but I'm like he, she. I get that all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a she.
I never once thought you were anything but a woman.
Yeah, me either. All the way.
Barrett. No, but people, they try and get to you. Yeah. It's the same thing. They will try and get your attention by targeting what you may feel most like special to you. I mean, being a woman isn't that, I mean, it's cool, I mean, it's all right. But like, in your case, Lord, being black is, I think, is like a wonderful thing, and you see it as a wonderful thing, and they're trying to take it off. They're trying to take that away from you. Don't let them do that.
You know what? You can't offend the unoffendable, and that's the thing. And I find when you laugh at them, that's what gets them the most, when they're being laughed at, and when you get other people to laugh at them too. They just can't. That's why they lash out at how you look or what you got on or your glasses per se.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I just
can't give them what they want. That's the thing is you can't. They want a reaction and you can't give that to them. I mean, the same thing with when I've spoken out about like the way I grew up and why I feel the way I do, people will comment and be like, "Well, it sounds like you're still in a cult." I'm like, well, why would I speak about this if that was the case? Like I wouldn't have this mindset if that was the case. Yeah. So people will always try and attack you in that capacity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they try to weaponize
like me.
They try to weaponize my gayness against me, and when they're like trying to bring me down, I'm like, oh girl, you just barked up the wrong tree, baby.
Right.
Like
I try to hit them. I try to hit the people that come at me with kindness. Well, I always try to spread that positively all the time, and no matter who it is. I
could say that.
I got to, because you know what? If I want people to respect my Joe Biden, I don't. I go out of my way not to trash Trump. I talk to them. I hear them out, and I'm like, look, you're my fellow American. I want the same respect that you want. Let's talk. And that's how it is every night.
I'll throw you under the bus with a smile. That's what I got.
I don't. That's
You're better than me.
I just think you get more done being kind.
I just can't do it. I have a hard time.
I can't either.
You just you got to bite. You get more done being kind.
Your stuff is going really funny. Your last few videos, and your last few videos were for the BrainDaddy. Your last few videos that I saw were really funny and really well put together. So
BrainDaddy's awesome.
Yeah, I
try to use comedy to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, actually,
I try to use comedy as much as I can because this is obviously like a horrible time right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if I can bring joy to people
for sure,
while also educating them, is to me that's instrumental right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, actually, I've been watching everybody pretty much for the past well, I just came across Bulletproofmedic only like 2 weeks ago, and I started duetting him, and I just couldn't stop cracking up at his stuff. I mean, he's just coming up in this TikTok world. But I've been watching BrainDaddy. I've been watching everybody except for Barrett and Moderate Democrat for like the past 4 months or so. Or yeah, Nikki, I think I've been watching you for at least like 3 months or 4 months. I don't know. It's a blur. But this time in quarantine has been a really rough time, honestly. But having TikTok and having people be able to vent about stuff, not just seeing like the Colbert Report or seeing like whatever news anchors there are, seeing actual real people that put together a great presentation is really key to not having the fake news. I mean, it's real news, but it's sometimes kind of a dramatic. Like if you watch Tucker Carlson, he's a little bit dramatic, and he's really an idiot. And I actually got a great clip to play of his, but we don't have time for that today. Yeah, we don't have time.
Yeah, I have to eat. It's over after 9 o'clock here, and I have to get my kids to bed.
Oh, yeah, you need to do that, Nikki. But actually, wait a second. Wait 1 second. We got one more thing about for Bulletproof Medic, and he's got something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm primarily on Twitter. I'm actually brand new to TikTok. I saw my following on Twitter. I got a message the other day from man, and he said that his daughter has been bullied a lot in school. She's having a really hard time. So she hadn't been happy in quite a while, but I heard her laughing recently, which was unusual for her. And he checked it out, and she was watching my stuff. And I mean, I can't even explain how that made me feel. So
that's so sweet.
I posted a video for her and to Twitter, where there's a longer limit. There's a shorter version on my TikTok. And I said, you know, if I, just a random guy, not a celebrity, not a famous person, not a movie star, nothing, a random guy in Canada can make you feel good, then what can you do? And I got a lot of good responses from that. But what I wanted to share with everyone, and I really hope that everyone can share this, is that I made a line of merch specifically for her because I want to get her a present, because she's in Ireland. I'm flying over there to meet her.
Oh,
wow.
That's awesome.
It's pretty good.
School, as long as her school is willing for that. But anything that I've raised almost $200 Canadian dollars, funny money so far.
Have you put out a video yet that we can duet on TikTok?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, it is. It's the only one where I'm not in this or a wig.
Are you
You need to wear that. You need to make a video, and then just like people will know. They know who you are. They know what your premise is, and keep it you and keep it real, and let's duet the crap out of this and see what we can do to
do exactly what you just did.
Wonderful.
Explain it.
Right.
We'll all share it. Awesome.
And Nikki, you got to go. So let's get your spiel, like your
my spiel.
Your ending, not spiel, but like your actual ending, your outro kind of. You need to go, but I've got one more video to play. But let's let Nikki go first, because you got to get the kids to bed.
I do, yes. And I have to eat. I'm starving. So anyway, thank you for having me. My name is Nicole Williams. Please call me Nikki, NIKKINOO. I have several different media platforms. My main one being TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I'm getting started on Twitter. So what I do is I take our current events and I try and make it comedic and funny, and while like getting you caught up, making you laugh at the same time, because let's face it, we all need a laugh right now. So anyway, please give me a follow, NIKKINOO 813 on TikTok and on Instagram and on YouTube. It is the NIKKINOO show. So NIKKINOO is all one word.
And it's all in the description below. NIKKINOO is in the description. I put everybody's information in the description. You can find it if you just look every single thing, every single Twitter account. I researched everybody's, except, I mean, maybe I'm missing some stuff, but I can fix that if you guys just tell me. But I've got everybody linked in the description below. If you've got Twitter or if you've got something else, just, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Nikki. It's really great to have you every time.
Love you guys. You guys, thank you so much. It was so great meeting the newbies and the people that have been here before. I love you guys. Bert, thank you so much for having me again.
Oh,
Laura, I love my sweatshirt and my mug.
Make sure you get Nikki's mug. She has a thermonuclear mug. She has a
I love it.
Oh, I love that.
Nikki's mug is thermal. Nikki's mug is thermal. Nikki's mug is thermal. When you pour hot liquid in, it changes color. It's amazing. I can't wait till mine get here.
So Nikki made a video with the Cranberry song, the Cranberry Ocean Spray song, with his merch. So it's like Fleetwood
Mac, honey.
It's really funny.
Yeah, I'm not black. I'm not black.
Fleetwood Mac.
I saw that.
I love you guys. Barrett, it was so awesome meeting you. I'm going to give you an instant follow. I think I'm following everybody else, but if I'm not, I'm going to find you guys. Thank you so much.
And before you just on Twitter, I'm pretty big over there, so I'm going to help you. Just give me a follow back. And
what is it? Bulletproofmedic?
It's actually under my actual name, Anthony C. Walker, on Twitter.
Anthony.
You can also find him through Bulletproofmedic on Twitter too. You can also find him both ways. So I know that for a fact.
You gotta follow me back, Anthony. I have 150 followers over there.
I just followed you, Nikki, today. I followed you today. You gotta follow me back. I've only got 20.
Nikki, before you go, look at the comment there.
What?
Before you go, look at the comment on the screen.
Put me back on, Bert. What the F is wrong with you?
Sorry.
Let's take a look. Did I do it the right way? Yeah.
Always good. Thank you, Lord, for sharing the comment. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes,
sure.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Bye, Nikki.
See you next time.
Bye.
And so we're going to go for a very short time. I mean, I know you guys must be tired. Some of you guys are on the East Coast.
I'm going to be ducking out as well, too. JC just walked in.
Okay, well, then you can go too, and then we're going to review this last video, all 5 of us. You do your spiel now.
Okay. As you can see, I'm very passionate about politics, and I'm not always right. But, I just have an inkling about certain stuff that turns out to be right. Anyway, I try to eradicate racism on the internet, so I have a website. You see something racist or hear something racist, make sure.
What just happened? I don't know what happened just now. That was good.
Audio.
Did you guys hear that?
Sound cut out.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Anyways,
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Anyway, I try to eradicate racism on the internet. So if you see something, you hear something that's awful, and you want them to report it, just send it to my website, timmynationinc.org, and we will try to handle up on that. Other than that, catch me on TikTok, Instagram, here, just doing political stuff and, trying to be as black as I can be. How about that?
And Lord's YouTube is also in the description down below, so go follow him also. And yeah, it's really great to have you guys' support. Definitely follow everybody.
Yeah, I just followed all you guys. Bulletproof, I just came on your radar because I'm like, what the hell is this? And then when you hear it all the way through, it's like, okay, yeah, I like this. Because at first I'm like, I was going to hard press. No, I don't want to see no crap like this. But then I start to get it. Because there's another guy that does what you do. He says, you want to take my guns? Come on in here and touch my skin and take my guns. You know what I'm talking about? I thought that was you, but it isn't you.
So I am the personification of the phrase, do not judge a book by its cover.
You are, because I was getting ready to say, okay, he's another one I'm getting ready to report. What the hell?
It was so funny.
Anyway, listen, I follow all you other guys. If I didn't, I'm just following you now. And yeah, let's stay in touch, and I'll see you guys back on Friday.
Yeah, great. Okay, we just have got one more video to view. I'm going to press on the video right now, the last part of this whole thing, and then we're all going to give our last spiel, all of us, including me. And then, so this video is from Walter Masterson. If you're tuning in just now, you didn't know that probably. This video is Walter Masterson undercover in a Trump rally. So it's super awesome. He does a great job acting. Here he is right here.
Minorities. He's done more than any other freaking president we ever freaking had. There's a true president, there's a true patriotic president doing it for the people and for America. We want a president that's going to protect our borders, that's going to do our economy great, that people could thrive on and prosper. That's the American dream, am I right? And we have a president actually doing that. But you're always going to have haters in this country. Because you know why? They can't bear the fact that we have a president, Republican, and doing something.
It makes sense. Let's say you have a party, right? You guys throwing a party, right? You guys spend a lot of money on some good liquor, some good food, right? Let's say. And you invite a friend of yours, right? And it's your birthday, right? So, usually in birthdays, you bring gifts or you bring something. Hey, it's a bottle, But now he's coming in with 10 other guys. Come in and eat all your food, drink all your liquor, and then they leave. That's basically the way I feel when you have illegal immigrants coming in illegally. They come to this country. What happened to the MS-13? All them kids on Long Island.
They don't talk about how no other country, there's actually no technology that can counter a wall. Like if you build a wall, that's it. That's like, there's nothing that can breach that wall. You know what I mean? So it's like, and they don't talk about that in the media. It's like, you can't get over, if the wall's 30 feet, they don't make ladders more than 30 feet. There's no drone that's going to get you all over the wall. There's nothing. You can't blow your way through it. That's it. That's once the wall's there, it's actually done. You can't get through it.
When the Great Wall of China was built, there was no protest. The people actually, every single person went, right? But every single, Asian at that moment did their part to build that wall.
You guys, since I lived in China, I know a little bit about the Great Wall. Honestly, I do know some stuff about the Great Wall. The Great Wall never got finished. It also, pretty much it costs, unlimited amount of money because people were just, literally buried underneath the wall. It was a crazy wall to build. It took thousands of years, and it's still not even done. It never got finished. I mean, they had no point. It never even helped the Mongolians. The Mongolians still conquered China back in those days. He has no idea about history, no idea about anything. Talking about there was no protest about the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China was built 2,000 years ago. How are we supposed to know that? I mean, this is the same guy talks about the STDs coming from, not the STDs, but the viruses coming from the same way that AIDS comes from. I mean, I don't know. I'm going on a rant. I'm sorry. I want to hear you guys' thoughts of this because I've just lived in China. I know about the Great Wall, and it was a waste of everything. Everyone's time. Bodies are buried underneath the Great Wall, and it was pointless. Okay, you guys go. Anybody?
Well, the first thing he talked about was how Donald Trump's done more than any other president, blah, 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 blah. That's like the argument I hear all the time. And they always say, specifically to me, he's done more for the LGBTQ community than any other president in history has. And I'm like, what? I don't know. That always just baffles me when I hear that kind of argument.
Well, they say that about everything because
they do, yeah.
It's the delusional cult-like narcissism where it doesn't matter the subject. But on the flip side of that, I think that we have to be very cautious about not discrediting all things because there are things that Trump has done that I agree with. Right. And I think to be a level-minded individual, we have to be able to acknowledge those things as well because if we completely just discredit anything, it does make it seem like such a polarized, we're just in a completely different world. But if we can at least acknowledge that, look, no matter what the subject is, even on the bad side of things, the racism, Biden has said some racist stuff. Yep. Biden has done, he's voted for some shitty stuff. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to say shitty, but I just said he said some stuff that he shouldn't have said, and he's voted for things he shouldn't have voted for. And those things should be addressed and talked about. However, one or two things over here does not discredit this over here. All of this over over here. You know, and that's where we have to find a way to meet each other somehow in the middle, because I know it's fun and it's easy to say, oh, it's us against them, it's this against that. But the reality is, like, at the end of the day, we are all Americans, and
Amen, brother.
We all want to make progress. And so how do we make progress? And so we have to be willing to meet each other where they are in some capacity in order to move forward.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about this, Bulletproof Medic? What's your take on this? Sorry.
You always get me when I'm having a drink.
I know, I always do. Sorry.
Is that maple syrup?
Yeah, just put it in a Gatorade bottle so you don't make fun of me. So the wall was a great invention when there were, you know, hatchets that had, you know, it was a stick and a stone just taped together, basically. It was great when there were arrows. Well, it was all right when there were arrows. But nowadays, a wall is just complete, utter stupidity. They're having contests, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone that might know, I think the fastest record for getting over the wall is 44 seconds. Like, and they were saying they find patches cut in the wall. Just they use a reciprocating saw from Home Depot, $100 saw, and so CBP repairs it. Now what they do is when they cut it, they use some black putty so that you can't detect that it's been cut, so they can just come back every night. The wall is just unbelievably stupid and a giant waste of money. And the fact that the supporters believe that it's being built, I think he keeps saying, I think the most recent thing he said is like 236 miles built.
Right.
No, it's like, I think it's something like 3 miles of actual new wall.
And don't forget that Mexico was going to pay for it. That was big. That
never happened.
You know, the campaign thing was Mexico was going to pay for the wall. That's part of it. But also, it's not necessarily that all Americans are like 100% against it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think there's plenty of flaws because I live in California. You know, most people that have come here illegally have flown here. So, you know, that's one issue. But I don't even think that necessarily all people would be 100% against it, because we did have stretches of wall there anyway. But it was the racism that came along with it. It was it was everything that came along with that narrative of building a wall. That was a hot issue.
Murderers.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, all that wall really was something for Trump supporters to chant at their rallies.
Yep.
That's all it was. It's something easy for them to remember. It wasn't a policy. It was something easy to chant. That's it.
And then Steve Bannon, it's Steve Bannon, right? The guy that's in jail now, or he's gonna go to jail.
He made $1 million off of it.
Yeah, he took money from private people that paid money to Steve Bannon. He got found on a boat doing drugs. The guy is out of his mind. He's got a serious problem. I mean, he looked like he was doing some drugs, like he had some scratches on his face, and I don't know what he had going on that boat. It was a Chinese boat.
Cocaine dripping out of his nose. I don't know. Something was up with the dude. But no, really quickly, I was going to say that when we were earlier, I thought about this. We were talking about the Supreme Court and all of that. I was like an infant, but during George Bush and Al Gore, and how close that election was, and that's something that we really need to look back at, and how eventually that goes up to the Supreme Court. And the other side of things is also make sure to watch the documentary about Roger Stone. And I think that this is really, 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 really important, because Roger Stone actually played a very pivotal role in George Bush getting that turning in the favor of George Bush. Now, Roger Stone is the one who convinced Donald Trump to run for the presidency and has been friends with him for a very long time. The one that Donald Trump just pardoned from prison for lying to Congress. So that's something that I just wanted to put out there, because I want people to be very aware of Roger Stone, because Roger Stone is like the man, is like the Wizard of Oz, like the man behind the curtain. And so this is the guy that has Richard Nixon tattooed on his back. So let's be very aware of what is really going on here. And mind you, also his ties to Russia and also his ties to pedophilia. There are connections between the California sex cult NXIVM, which there are multiple documentaries about, and Epstein. And one of those connections is Roger Stone. Roger Stone was on the payroll for NXIVM. And there are, I mean, I could just go.
He fully endorses Proud Boys too.
Yes,
Oh,
wow. but Roger Stone is someone to pay attention to.
You guys, I think we are really coming close to out of time, but let's go around and get everybody's information, just like your spiel or your outro kind of, and go around. And we can actually talk longer after I end the broadcast, but right now I just want to get everybody in the end of this too, because we do the intro, but we need to do the outro, and because people are brand new on this right now. We got 81 people watching currently, so we got to go around. So let's start at you, BrainDaddy. What's your spiel, as I like to say?
So yeah, I'm on TikTok primarily. It's right now I'm the BrainDaddy 2. My main channel is the BrainDaddy YT. It's currently suspended because I showed a cartoon meme of Donald Trump with no shirt on, so I guess that's bad. But I try to provide information while also being funny, because just like NIKKINOO, it's like you gotta have some sort of joy in all of this if it's possible. So I have fun. I got a lot of really good followers that love me, so I have fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, it's good to have fun. You also spread a great message, so that's awesome. Go follow BrainDaddy on TikTok. And then we got Barrett Carroll, who's an actor and an activist at this moment, but he is, first of all, an actor. And you should talk about your movies that are coming out soon, because I think they're pretty big blockbusters, if I'm not mistaken.
Thanks. So I do a lot of, I've done a lot of different things, but I used to appear regularly on Conan. I did all the a bunch of the sketches on Conan TV show before the pandemic. But then I also just had a movie come out called Robot Riot, which I hate that name, but that's beside the point. Which is on Amazon Prime, and it just was released on there, Amazon Prime and iTunes and a bunch of stuff like that. Those type of platforms. I'm on, but I also, because of my background, I dive into a lot of like spirituality. I've researched a lot of philosophy, a lot of different religions, things like that. So my YouTube is like a mix of that and politics. So if you go to my YouTube, it's Barrett Carroll on my YouTube channel. And I love to connect and have a community with people. Same thing on TikTok. It's Barrett Carroll Curtis on there, as well as my Instagram. And just overall, because I've had kind of a diverse life so far, it really I try and encompass a lot of different things of just entertainment, because that's the world that I work in. Education regarding politics and philosophy and religion, because I didn't even go to school until I was in college, and so much of what I did was I had to research and I had to educate myself, and then in empowerment, and I've also worked some in the self-help industry as well, and I came out of a lot of abuse from my childhood and stuff, and so that's regrowing my internal world has been a big thing as well. And so I love to talk about empowerment with people as well.
Yeah, it's great to have you and actually like cover this kind of stuff too. We're going to definitely dive into this into other live streams too, like get deeper and more sharing and stuff. So yeah. And then so Bulletproofmedic, what's your kind of background and everything, and your channels and your Twitter and everything?
Yeah, okay. So on Twitter, it goes by my actual name, just it's one that I started 10 years ago, so that'd be at Anthony C. Walker. I recently started up on the TikTok. I'm a terrible millennial. I haven't been on the TikTok or Instagram until recently, but I'm there now as Bulletproofmedic, because I got the vest and I'm a medic, so that's kind of makes sense. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I kind of just randomly started doing comedy just because of that Officer Karen McMuffin video. And it took off. It was really easy to poke fun the megas, especially because my brother is one of them. So I some of the inspiration from him. I started doing this without even thought of fame or fortune. I've always thought of myself as funny, and it's nice that other people get to laugh at stuff, especially in such a crappy time. So and especially getting a message from Eva's dad like that is why I do what I do, just to make people feel good. And if I can make one kid in Ireland feel good, then I'll keep doing this for the rest of my life, because as I said earlier, I can't even explain how that message made me feel.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I saw your video and it got like 80,000 views on Twitter in like the first day of Eva. It just went super viral, so it's super fun.
I want to find that, because I'm sure all of us would love to share that and stuff. I mean, that's such a cool thing, and I'll buy. I don't know what merch you're selling, but I'm more than happy. I would love to buy some stuff to help in some capacity.
For sure. So I will once we're send everyone the link to the full minute 20-second video, because that's more in depth. I did one on TikTok that was obviously down to the 59 seconds. I'm gonna do another one tonight because as Nikki said, for the duetting, and I want to put in now that I have plans to go to Ireland to meet her and talk at her school. So I'm gonna do another one tonight, and if everyone could duet that would be amazing, because as I said, we've already raised almost $200 of funny money. But when I go over there, so one of my Twitter followers, and I'm sorry for taking more time than everyone else.
That's okay. You were very quiet earlier.
One of my Twitter followers is a water bomber pilot with the Royal Canadian Air Force. He messaged me and he said, "I saw your video. I bloody loved it. We're going to take a water bomber over to Ireland. We're going to meet her. We're going to take her up. We're going to let her fly. We're going to scoop some water. We're going to dump it. We're going to give her, the best time of her life." And it's turning into a big thing. Like turns out we can't get a water bomber to go over there. We have to get one while we're there. We have to borrow one from England. So to fly over there, we have to fly a Learjet over there. Yeah, I know. Poor me. I have to fly a private jet. Then we're going to spend time actually making some videos in Britain. I'll just give everyone a kind of a sneak peek of one of the video ideas that I have. Is I'm gonna I'm gonna bring my stuff, obviously, play my character, and be like, because we get to fly a Hornet on the way back, an F-18 Hornet. We're gonna launch off an aircraft carrier, and I'll be like, look at what I found at a garage sale. These Dems are gonna get it now, and then show the Hornet. So that's just the one sneak peek that everyone's going to get. But obviously the star of the show is going to be Eva. I'm going to be putting up so many pictures and videos. We're going to take her on a shopping spree with whatever money that I can manage to get from everyone out there. And I hope it's enough to, get her whatever she wants under the sun.
You were
That's
awesome.
awesome. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so last person, I'm going to be the last person. And then we're going to go to Walter's video, Black Lives Matter video that's really funny that I think that you guys will love also. And after that, we can all stick around and talk for a couple minutes if you guys want. But yeah, moderate Democrat, let's hear from your spiel.
Well, I'm on Twitter under the same name too, but I'm mostly on TikTok. When I got into TikTok like 2.5 months ago, when I got in there, all I seen was Trumpers all the time. So I'm like, you know what? There needs to be a Biden voice on here. And my wife and my son started helping me, and one thing led to another, and it's blown up. And I'm so super excited. I'm reaching across, talking to Republicans, and you know what? I got a lot of Republican followers because I don't treat them like trash just because they vote for Trump. I go out of my way to respect them because they are my fellow Americans, just like us Democrats. And I make these funny videos, and I try to put a positive spin on it to make people think and to have a little bit of fun. And that's the biggest thing I'm trying to do, is make you smile and make you think.
And me and Modern Democrat are going to have another kind of live stream with maybe some Republican Trump supporters, like hopefully moderate Trump supporters, not like the guy that's in our video that Walter has. But we're going to have someone who's like got some reasons why Trump is supposed to be elected. And I want to see if we can make that happen without cussing and swearing at each other. I mean,
I wouldn't do it. I don't cuss nobody out like that, man. If we can't talk to each other with respect, man, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, of course. I want to try my best. So I don't know if you guys are welcome to join too, but we just got to try to be nice to the Trumpers. I mean, I don't know how to convert them. They've gone down this long way cultish path. I don't know how.
It depends. I mean, I still think that there is some hope for some of them, but I got to be honest. It really depends on what Trump road they're coming from. So that really is what makes a big difference. Is from what I've found, at least, is like some of them it's just the conservative background. It's it's the traditional roots of their whole family was a Republican. They're from a Republican state. There's certain ideals that they believe in, and some of them are it's just so far out there that you can't have a conversation with them. So I think just be careful about what. Because there are still people out there that are changing their minds, and they are finding that balance of who you can actually have a conversation with can be tricky.
Yeah, no, definitely,
very much so.
So I'll give my spiel, and then we're gonna go end it with Walter Masterson, and definitely go check out Walter Masterson. Also, he's just so much fun, and he definitely needs more love on YouTube. His video actually went semi-viral for his channel. Like, it got only in the first day 5,000 views for that interview. So that's pretty good for a 3,000 subscriber channel. So anyways, my name is my name is Bert. My channel is called Food Expert. I travel the world and I eat crazy foods. I try to have fun when I travel, and I show you guys the journey along. Unfortunately, I had to come back to America for the past 7 months because of this pandemic. Trump. I was not even going to probably even be able to vote in this election. I was just going to be staying in another country and doing my thing in other countries. But Trump has brought me back to vote. And I'm definitely not voting for that reason of Trump. I mean, Trump has really ruined this whole thing for my life. And he's ruined a lot more lives, a lot worse than mine. So I'm pretty lucky at that. But I just want everybody to know you should definitely go out and vote and get this guy out, because he's bad news. I've been only the past 6 or 7 months, since March 2nd was my first negative video about Trump. I'm like, I cannot stand back and just do my food travel videos all the time when I've got Trump saying that this virus is not dangerous. On March 2nd, I did a Bill Gates video that went a little bit viral. It got 58,000 views on YouTube. And I was like, Trump is not doing the right thing. I mean, that's what brought me to doing the political side of TikTok and the political side of YouTube. So please follow me. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. I'm right there. So Food X Bert, it's written right on my thing right here. And I would love it if you followed me, because I'm only 20 away from hitting my 10,000 subscriber mark, which makes me bronze in the YouTube world, which means I can go to the YouTube workspace and do a lot more things. So go follow me as soon as you can after this is over. And anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this whole video. I know it's been a long one. This is the longest one we've ever done. And so we're going to close off with Walter Masterson's video. And that's it. We're done. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Bulletproof Medic.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Democrat. Yeah, thank you, Moderate Democrat, and BrainDaddy and Barrett, Carroll. Thank you guys so much. So any last words from you guys? Last words. We're really going to go.
I'm just thank you for having. This was a great conversation with everybody. I was really grateful and really happy to connect with everyone. I think it's awesome to be able to meet like-minded people and share things, and also to be able to have those conversations, like we were saying, about finding ways where we can reach across the aisle, and not just attacking. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else? I'm going to play Walter Masterson's video. I think you guys should all go subscribe to Walter Masterson on YouTube. Anyone who's here still, and subscribe to all of us. Go down the list, because I put a list down on the description with all of our information. You can subscribe, look at all of our information down this list. So it'd be amazing if you subscribe to all of us. I'm about to play Walter Masterson, his amazing video on Black Lives Matter. Here it is, you guys. Here you go. Putting this over here.
Hey, bro! Get on the boat, man! Stow yourself in the cabin! I'm on the phone with my dad's credit card company. Yeah! Woo! What am I doing? Oh, no! Woo! Do you see that? Hello, 911? There's a black man and he's bird watching. Yes, call me back, please. Can you believe that? Oh. 911, they're calling me back. Hello?
This is Black Twitter, motherfucker.
Someone called me from Black Twitter? Have you heard of Black Twitter? Bro, I don't know. I don't see a Black Twitter in the App Store. Excuse me. Yes, he is right. The Black Twitter, that is for the Android. Bro, Will Smith is verified on Twitter. Black Twitter and Twitter are the same app. Will Smith is verified on Twitter! Siri, erase all my tweets from before 2013.
Excuse me?
Siri?
Oh, honey child.